Hey, welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a Thursday evening. It is January 9th, 2024. Been a bit of a funk today. I think we'll get through it. How's everyone doing? We're lined up for a Thursday night stream. Got a deck list of the week. Gotta talk about a tournament we played on Tuesday. Gotta do a little recap. I think it'll be a nice one. I panicked and named the stream something generic because I honestly didn't know what we'd be doing. So yeah, sometimes that happens and you just have to give it a name. Sometimes a name is better than no name. Diogen, how's it going? Hey y'all. Hey, good games on Tuesday. Hopefully you're doing well. Harpay, how's Friday? Happy New Year. What's a summer Friday looking like? Hey, speaking of Australia, Ian, for your information, your Twitch for me in Australia says the stream is starting in 53 minutes. What part of Twitch tells you that? I don't even know where it would say that. I think I have like a little text bar underneath the stream that has, I guess we could open it, but then once you open it, you start getting that recursive loop. That's a bit cursed. What are we called? Maybe there's a chance that it's off an hour because of daylight savings or something. Schedule? I don't know. Every Tuesday, 8:45 Eastern. Yeah, maybe that's that. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm missing something. I would have to double check. Hopefully you're doing well though. Hey, Andre from the Métropole Grid. Super Not. How's it going? How's your Thursday night? I think we're gonna dive in to this is a deck list of the week. This is Hoshiko and the sort of like no nonsense good stuff Hoshiko lists. It's not too different than what won Worlds a couple years ago in Barcelona that Sokka was playing. I think that version wasn't on Takobi. It was just playing Boomerang and Leeches. I have seen so many people have strong opinions about Takobi versus Turbine. And I've also never seen Takobi be that good. I know it's good if you get this down and start breaking things. Eventually you break, your 2 credit, your 1 credit Brawn. I've heard stories about that. But honestly, and I'm not saying it's not true. I have never seen Takobi be good. I'm kind of just a simple Turbine guy. And maybe that's because you can just set up and then you have Turbine as opposed to having to break stuff. Like at some point you don't have power counters and at some point your opponent stops resing cheap stuff. So this becomes a problem. I've also seen games where people have to play around this where it's like, oh, I got to trash my little cheap gatekeeper because you're farming on it for 1 credit with Buzzsaw. But I never totally understand this one. But we'll see how it goes. We'll definitely see how it goes. I think the Maw is also the console choice. I believe the Worlds list, shout out to, mind you, this is Nottingen's list, right? Yeah, this is Nottingen. Some good stats there. I'm covering my face. Maw is the sort of console that I think Nottingen likes a fair bit. Very, very powerful effect, and it gives you some disruption. It gives you a bunch of MU, which this deck doesn't exactly need 2 MU, but it's nice. I think the World's winning list had Keiko in it, if I'm not mistaken. And I do think right now people are playing good stuff, regular Hosh, as much as they're also playing other kinds of Hosh, Virus Hosh, Aquaceris Crew Hosh. But Maw only shows up really in this version. And it's another card that I know as a player, I struggle to spend 6 costs to put this thing down. If you get his bounce to hand against that NBN matchup, like that's a bit cursed, but it just feels so expensive to me. And it's a very good effect. It wins very, very slowly, but it's very, very powerful and hard to deal with. That's for sure. It's a very, very good disruption. And you notice this deck doesn't run a lot of, actually has a bit of multi-axis. It does have a single finality. That's always nice and fun. And then of course it has twinning, which twinning is quite powerful. We have Mystic, we have Paladin. That's largely it. So you can play Keiko if you want, but I think, yeah, you probably have enough disruption. Crowar, how's it going? How's Friday? How you doing? I am, from a design standpoint, more of a fan of Takobi, even if Turbine is better. I agree. I think this seems less frustrating to play against to some extent. It's honestly just Leech. To another extent, this does snowball in a really bad spot where, like, once it has counters, you're breaking the first ice cheaply, which gives you more counters, and then you're kind of breaking everything cheaply. But I do think the fact that it actually requires interaction and planning makes it a lot more interesting and a lot more palatable than potentially. I know people don't really like Turbine. It's also cheaper to come down, which is nice. Our game of the GNK was a lot of fun. 2 decks trying to control the top of their stack. Very thematic. I totally forgot the top of my stack pretty consistently. But it was a good game. We'll do a bit of recap after I think we play the decks of the week to talk about it, because we had a GNK on Tuesday right after the stream. Like 2 hours after the stream, we ran down to do a GNK. There's like 12 people on a Tuesday night, which is kind of incredible. That's really, really good. There's also folks who are coming out for like their first event, their first tournament. The Montreal Discord's been pretty busy, which is really quite nice. It's nice to see that the like local just get out and play scene is doing alive and well. Hey, Andrew, 4,000 games just with that list. Amazing. I don't know if it's just this list. I think this is the entire stats on JNet. I don't think it's just this deck. There's almost no way. I'm impressed that like it's 4,133 started, 4,133 completed. Like, I don't quit games, but I don't have 100% completion rate just because like you have internet problems or, something bad happens, the servers crash and then you leave. Like, I think most people have a 99% completion rate with this sort of numbers. I don't even know if I have 4,000 games on JNet. I probably do. Mind you, this account wasn't always my main account. I used to have a different account. And then once I started streaming, I used this one. But I don't even think my stats are, I don't even have that many games. I have 3,000 games barely. But yeah. Oh, I am actually 100%. But the numbers, I'm now 100%. Oh, just the nice rounding error. I didn't know that. That's reason to celebrate. I was goofing around with using Daredevil with Benhar, and it's the 5 cost that makes it hurt so much. Daredevil is cool. We didn't see a lot of it. I think there's only one or maybe one deck in the history of Netrunner competitively that played Daredevil as a great console. But the wild thing is that it's a 1 influence console that gives you 2 MU. It's really, really cool. Gives you free card draw when you initiate a run on a server. And the only deck that this saw play was a deck that would make runs and then jack out. So for a while, we had a Cabanasa Wu deck that would very quickly establish all 3 glasses of wine with Au revoir, and then build this deck that would just run, draw 2 cards, and then jack out as soon as possible, which was even sooner than you thought it would be. And that was kind of the list. I don't know if there's another Daredevil, it's like a really strong effect, but also it only works on certain board states and it's expensive, that's for sure. So taking risks is what makes it fun. It's a really neat console. If you open the schedule, it has a calendar view and shows you current start at 1:45 p.m. It's currently 12:56 in Sydney, so maybe daylight savings. Yeah, Ian, if it's off by an hour, I never change it, so it's probably because we have a mismatch between daylight savings, is my guess, but I'll review it for sure. 25 uncompleted out of 8,277. I may have played a bit much on JNet. Yeah, that's a huge number. That's a really, really huge number. But like, I know just about any time I'm on JNet, you're out there grinding, which I appreciate. I think it's really, really cool. I know my time for Netrunner is divided against a lot of things, so I don't actually spend that much time casually playing JNet. It's usually like streaming or like getting recording in for video stuff, which we'll get back to there. Hey, Bloody Mutt, hello there. How's it going? How's your Thursday? Let's give this first spin. Seems relatively straightforward. Now, we did see a lot of people play Hoshiko, the most played identity at the last major event this weekend at the Showdown, and Hoshiko hasn't been doing that well. We did see a bunch of Hoshikos in the top cut. Actually, not a lot of the Hoshikos were playing this sort of like Reg Hoshiko engine. I do think Reg Hoshiko right now is okay. I think there's things you definitely want to play. I think Boomerang seems really good right now. I think Botulus is a card that looks good right now, but people are teching around it fairly. Getting your Buzzsaw down quickly is also kind of, not your Buzzsaw, sorry, your Cleaver down is kind of important as well, unless you can get your ban hard because people are playing wraparound. But yeah, otherwise you just want to get through your deck as fast as possible. I'm actually really surprised this deck is not running the price, which I think the price is just absolutely cracked and is one of the ways that Hoshiko like rips through the deck as fast as possible. But actually notably, and I don't think I realized that until this exact moment, this is not a deck that has labor rights or even Ashen. And I probably should say it the other way. I think I more expect labor rights than Ashen. This isn't the sort of rip through your deck. This is just kind of like good stuff Hoshiko. Did Sokka play labor rights? I'm pretty sure Sokka played labor rights at Worlds 2 years ago. That always gets me. We used to be able to click on deck lists and it would open this tab, and now it doesn't, or this tab, one of the tabs. So let's search Hoshiko. Let's search Boomerang, and I don't know. Carmen? That's like a Sokka card. I reset my stats with every set release, so my numbers are a lot lower. Oh, no way. Do you like record them? I reckon I should. I reset my deck list at one point. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I guess this one doesn't either. It doesn't have price, which was out at the time. It has Diesel for some card draw, which is pretty good. It has Raindrops. It has Strike Puncher, Gamma Steel Skin, Moshing as well. So it's actually not that different from this list. There's also DJ Fenris, which usually you go for Steve. I've seen a lot of players pick up this deck or like Hoshiko decks and then put down Steve way too early. I don't think you actually want to install Steve, but this deck actually doesn't have Steve, so you can't make that mistake. But we're going to get some disruption with them. I've only played a total of 155 games on JNet. I just don't like online play that much. That's like a wild, like, it's a totally true thing. And I think there's a lot of people that when it comes to online tournaments on JNet, spend a whole weekend playing on JNet. It's just like a non-starter. And that's obviously a bit of a bummer for sure. And I get it. I get it. Playing in person is totally different. It's also a different skill set. I think there's a lot of players who are good in paper that are not good online and vice versa. And it's like a really hard thing to marry those two skills to some extent. But yeah, maybe people don't watch this who don't like JNet because we largely play on JNet. And so we don't get to hear their stories, but hopefully JNet's been okay to you. I had a vague idea of my percentage trends, but I haven't specifically recorded them in one place. I'm like really stats pilled. That's the thing, Crore. I've been like board game tracking. There's no way I wouldn't want to remember that. Hey, there's John. I don't like playing on JNet that much. Do you casually grind on JNet, John? Good seeing you on Tuesday. I like that in our Discord in Montreal, there is people being like, hey, looking for a game. Oh, I set this Hoshiko to be the alternate Hoshiko. It's not that I don't like it better. I'm just going to set it back because for a while, Hoshiko was broken and this was a way to fix Hoshiko. So I'm just going to go do Reg Hoshiko. Okay. It always confuses me when it's the flashy Hoshiko. I'm not playing the CBI though because the timing didn't work out. I never grind on JNet, almost exclusively play in person. I think if you live in our time zone, you have options of which part of the CBI you can play. I think they both sort of make sense. I think the top cut doesn't make a lot of sense. I think that's just unfortunate. And last year, the top cut didn't make sense for EMEA, and now it makes sense for EMEA, but not for North America. I'm reckoning that's going to have an impact, but we've also seen a lot of very competitive players play in regions or time zones that don't make a lot of sense for them. So, Rahid, how's it going? How you doing? How's Thursday? I'm also just lucky to have an active local meta so I can get my fix in without JNet. Yeah, that's a huge thing too. If you don't have folks to play in person, like, I wouldn't say you end up playing on JNet, but it definitely helps. Hey, Evelon, good evening. Playing in person involves a lot of physical tells and tricks. Yes, and like memory and physically getting your cards on the table and reading your opponent and just like having the sort of stress of there being somebody else there in a loud room in a tournament. Like there's a lot of things that go, I wouldn't say uncelebrated, but like need to be focused on. There's a lot of people who play better in person because of all those stresses. Hey, PMK, hopefully you're doing well. Thank you. I'm doing all right. I don't grind on JNet because it's got the same issues I have with fighting game ranked modes. Oh, what's that, Supernut? I only have 119 games on JNet. That includes pandemic playing. Whoa. We've played on JNet before, right, John? I love that JNet exists, but I'm very much preferring IRL play. Tom, how's it going? Well, welcome to the JNet, mostly JNet channel. What about watching someone play JNet? Is that okay? Is that all right? But I totally hear you. I think it's not for everyone. That's for sure. I keep telling myself I should casually grind to get better at the game, knowing meta, but I never find the time. Luckily, the Sydney, Australia meta is super alive and well. I think we've seen that many, many times. Oh, this is definitely a Smurf. Yeah, 100% this is a Smurf. Knife Dog? Knife Dog with too little completion data. Okay, buckle up. I don't know what's going on. Okay, maybe Mirror Morph Prison? What's our acid tech? Do we have bones or anything? Yeah, we have 2 missed bones. That might be okay. That's me. I've started playing a few games a night to try to know how to press buttons for CBI. Eric, yeah. Eric, also, I recommend to like get into a voice chat with other people and stuff. I know like playing a whole weekend online is like, could be pretty lonely. Hey, Jai, what's good? Oh, no way. How you doing? CBI top cut and previously the entire tourney alternates between EMEA and America time zone, while always being okay for APAC, yeah. I play way more, but for me, I want to play people I can talk with, banter with, and I don't enjoy that as much on chat. Thanks, you too. Yeah, I think like, I think if you want to grind games, obviously hop onto JNet. If you want to like grind focused games, hop onto Discord and ask someone to play and then get on voice chat. I also think not enough people play cooperative Netrunner, like where 2 people play one side because you actually can talk about your play. I think it's by far the easiest way to get better at this game is like talking about your game as you play your game. Now we have a Banhar, which is good. If they play like assets and then they want to play that medical thing, that means we can't run remote servers. We just face tank with that. Otherwise, I don't like this. I want to open up with a companion, I reckon. Some economy is good. We're going to touch turn 1 with Hoshiko. Apparently didn't change our identity. This is very similar hand. No Banhar sucks, but we'll see how aggressive their start is. It boils down to the fact that playing a lot of JNet against random opponents can generate a lot of weird data and play patterns that work great in the setting, but are otherwise not great. Oh, yeah. That's for sure. I think if you're testing for a tournament, JNet casual is, like, with all due respect, not the best place for that, but it's a nice way to figure out what your deck can do and, like, at least learn the basics of some lines. But focus testing is definitely way worth more time than anything else. Hey, Gordy, greetings on your chat. How you doing? Thing is, I know I'd be a better player if I grinded games on JNet, especially to learn decks. Yes. History has shown us there are many players that the best way that they've got better faster is by just grinding a lot of games. Strongly recommend 2 versus JNet as a meaning to prove. It's so good because nobody can challenge your with all due respect bullshit unless you have someone to talk to. Like, watch the streams with me and Pat. Like, I disagree with Pat a fair bit. Pat disagrees with me, and then we together come up with a better line than individually either of us would. And it's really, really cool. It's like just genuinely very fun. Especially if you also play with someone who like knows the archetype. It's just the easiest way to accelerate your stuff. Set up a CBI hang for us in Boston, New Hampshire folks for CBI testing. Let's go. Hey, Gyro. How you doing? Our Mirror Morph they installed, they credited. Did the Knife Dog mulligan? The Knife Dog kept. They're playing pretty slow. Maybe a newer player. That turn is taking quite long, just for the discard. So maybe they have something ugly. I don't know what this is. We can definitely check it. I don't really want to raindrops it. We're not in a rush. So we're going to touch with Hoshiko. So I think we can just run and check that server. We can run HQ. We can probably draw a card. So we might as well draw first. Do we have Dirty Laundries? We do. So I'm going to draw first. Okay, that's fine. So we can run server 1. If we trash this, we might just do credit casts. We don't really have a huge Mystic target besides Steelskin. Oh, no, we do. We have Steelskin and Raindrops next turn. Yeah, it's a weird opening. But they also like Mirror Morphed on a turn. It didn't seem like Mirror Morph was good, so maybe they're figuring things out. Like, it looked like they really worked for that Mirror Morph. Calvin. Okay, interesting. So they res this for 0. If we trash this, I don't want them to draw 2 cards a turn. If we trash this, we can just do credit daily cast. I'm just going to trash this. I don't know what their deck is. They can draw 2 cards here, but then we can run HQ. Unfortunately, I think we're going to do credit casts. I think with Mirror Morph, those abilities, you just have to deal with them. I'm going to do credit casts. Running HQ here is pretty reasonable. They definitely have an agenda in hand. Note that most Discord of the different meta make it possible to use voice chat. Yeah. Even playing on tournaments, like hop in voice chat. Offer voice chat to your opponent if you want to. It's much more fun. Yeah, you're watching a tournament, people do really weird undo clicks. You're like, what are they doing? And they're clearly on voice chat talking it through. Meanwhile, I learned how to play against Bay Area jukebox players, so I had no idea how to play against regular ASA players at Worlds. You just need one person in your meta who like plays as one brew, and you get like way too good at playing against a certain person on Evolution, and then somebody plays Assets P, and your fundamentals are all just totally thrown into the garbage. Voice chat JNet is an entirely different game. I honestly don't know the last time I played voice chat JNet. Because often it's in a streaming experience where like your opponent, the way that I talk, I don't want my opponent to hear it. So it's usually mute your opponent JNet, which like, that's weird. All right, double install. They're spread out. We have a lot of spectators. Yeah, you can undo that. Cool. All right, so you probably want Mirror Morph. Last night, Funky Man and Sunny and I were doing voice chat J now. It was fun. Yeah, there you go. That's really fun. So we can just click on Raindrops this, I imagine. We'll have, what, 2 credits to trash? If I've done the math right. Like, we want to deal with Hoshiko. We want to force a res. I don't care if it's a drafter. It might be a spin doctor. But if we do the Raindrops, it should be fine for us no matter. I like Raindropsing where they're really incentivized to res. If you Raindrops R&D, they just won't res. Generally, the axis on this is better than the axis on the top of R&D. Using JNet to play online with someone in VC is great, but rando grinding is for me. No further. Okay. So we can't trash a Maryland. We can trash a Nico, a Spin, a Rashida. It's a Maryland. Bummer. Okay. So they have an agenda in hand. If the Maryland's in their remote server, we don't mind so much. So I think we're just going to do Mystic Run HQ. And then from there, there's definitely agendas in here. We might even run HQ twice. They've gone through 10 cards. There's no Spin Doctor. I don't think they discarded an agenda. But yeah, that's why we run HQ. Cool. Not a lucky rip, honestly. Like they probably have, it was probably 40% in HQ. Maybe their slower play means that they're trying to deal with an ugly hand. You've seen that happen on this channel before. But again, it's about making your own luck. That was math. Maryland, great. Good thing is we have the Iqua, so now we can be a bit more aggressive clicking through things. It's not like they wanted to score this, but you'll take 3 points if you can get it. My controversial take is that I think JNet Casual is a better way to improve than in-house games on voice chat. Ooh, yeah, elaborate on that, Jai. Jai, what do you mean? I'm not 100%. Biotic Labor, are they just scoring out to go down to 0? Install, yeah, this looks like triple advance, which is going to be financially problematic for them. Oh, with Mirror Morph, it's a bit easier. That's kind of cool. Biotic, install advance, gain a credit, advance. Now there's no 3-2 we're really worried about. Oh, it's a 3-1. So they biotic the 3-1. We're generally not too concerned about that. That is a pretty bad ratio. So here we just want to face check server 2 to trash the Maryland because it seems really important. We'll get down Banhar and we'll just continue to do our thing. We'll steal skin sooner than later. They might not have an agenda in their hand, but if you're playing 1-pointers, like sometimes their density gets a bit messed up. All right. So this gets shuffled back. It's fine. We just don't want them to have 6 credits. It looks like their money is a bit tight. Here we can just do, well, credit Banhar credit's a bit cursed because we're going to lose a credit to Hoshiko because we touched a card. We could do Steel Skin, which puts us to 7, but we can't really play much. We can't even Dirty Laundry. So I think it's draw credit Banhar. We get Raindrops HQ. I don't think we have a huge incentive to. Let's just get this down. And this means that we don't lose a credit to Hoshiko because we bottomed out. Yeah, Mirror Morph Fast Advance is kind of cool. There's actually a bunch of tricks. I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot of people play Mirror Morph with Holloman, because you actually can do install, Holloman, advance. There's things you can do. Yeah, Mirror Morph Fast Advance is sick with Holloman. There's things to do. All right, credit, draw. So you should do that in the other order. They're committing to the Mirror Morph here. So they're really like planning their turn around it, which is good. Then they do Operation. This is a flexible operation. They might have top decked this. I'm imagining if they didn't, they would have played this first click. I wonder if they're on hyperloops, if they just like I don't know what to read from the deck from this. This card you barely see out of Sports Metal. And in Sports Metal, it's really good when it's like, you know, 5 credits or 3 credits, 2 card draw. It's like basically Rashida. But we'll see if that means like maybe they're playing like Archer and have some discard stuff. Maybe they're playing Giordano and a lot of 1-pointers. Who knows? Hey, Changeling, how you doing? Are you all good in that part of California? I know you're pretty far away from where I assume is on fire, but hopefully you're all doing well, huh? Also, congratulations on the weekend. Thule sometimes runs it? Yeah, Thule runs it for sure. All right, they did draw credits. Okay, so they now have gone through 14 cards, and we've seen 2 agendas, so it's likely there's 1 in HQ. We'll put Benhar in R&D, I guess. Okay, so we can moshing. I don't really love moshing here. We could just steal skin. I think is like I keep forgetting that we're not a Labor Rights deck. Like we actually have to install our breakers. We have 2 of each of them, but I don't actually think we want to install them now. So we probably just moshing our Echelon, our Steel Skin, and our Cleaver, and just draw 3,000 cards, and then be able to play all of these with Mystic, which seems really good. So here now we can just do Sure Gamble. We want to keep our card draw going because we're in a good spot. So we can just do Sure Gamble for 7 credits, run HQ. And then we'll Sure Gamble last click. Just this allows us to deal with Ikwa, and or we could get another Mystic counter here. We have Benhar Boomerang, so we're totally set to test the remote server. Okay, wow. It's like a Sports Metal deck. I guess we're gambling again. I don't know what else we'd do here. That was casual, like 15 credits. I'm fine up here, yes, thank you. But some of the LA Netrunners are affected, unfortunately. Shit. I hope everyone's okay. Things look really, really bad from our part. From like what we see in the news, obviously. They're going for it again, Biotic Labor. Maybe the second Mega P would be good for them. I think their game plan is just Biotic Labor everything. If this is not a Hyperloop, they're like financially going to be in a bad spot. The issue is like we don't have Stargate or any way to like control the game. We just have to find we want to find as soon as possible our twinning. Maw would actually be really good. We can afford a Maw here. Raindrops R&D is basically moshing. Yeah, but I don't have a huge incentive to run the top of R&D when they have an open HQ and they've drawn through 15 cards. HQ is a much better place to run there. Whoa, wait, what? Biotic, and then they can do the draw in the middle. That's so cool. It is the Mega Pre. Okay, so they set us up. They're on 3 points. We're on 4 points. We find a Nicoa, we win. They're on 0 credits, so we're just gonna touch everything. Let's do Hosh first. Okay, Daily Cast Mystics. We don't really need to do much here. So this is where like if we can find our twinning. It's a 2 in. Is it 2? Yeah, it's 2. So our multi-axis is twinning or finale. So we have a 1 in 10 chance of drawing a multi-axis. Holy crap. All right, I'm just doing this for click compression. So we'll swipe HQ and then we'll see the top of the deck. This is why you plan your turn. So you look really smart. So we can see Liqua's here. Biotic, the 3rd Biotic. Phonatria. Huh? I guess they might have Greasing the Palm. Really cool. All right, we'll run R&D. They can raise a pop-up if they want to. We can't see Liqua, but at least we'll know where it is. Ah, shit. I guess that's going into HQ, and we can see 2 from HQ. So next turn, we just play Strike Fund, run HQ, run HQ. Hardly cards the strongest week. Yeah, it's been okay. But for real, some of that is just like knowing your deck and planning around and making good ideas, and you look really clever. Ah, Sprint. I hate Sprint. Because now we're assuming they put the Ikua back in the deck. But Sprint is just my least favorite card. Oh my god, is it so annoying. It's fine. I have a theory that Conduit is actually really good right now. Most people aren't playing it. Changeling, I'm playing a Lat deck that has Nyasha in it, and I feel so silly not to play Conduit. I don't know why I'm not playing Conduit. I should just cut a Nyasha, 2 Nyashas for 1 Conduit, and then maybe even play a second compilation because it's that good. I kind of like, I think people are playing 1 Mavirius, maybe 2 Mavirius, but like, it's fine. It's fine. Given the agenda suite, they probably drew more agendas. I'm assuming they just have like a totally Sports Metal agenda suite. So we're still waiting on like real Vitruviuses, I imagine. I'm not sure. Playing on the same team forces you to talk about what you're actually doing rather than trash talk. Yeah, that's what 2-player Netrunner is. You should just trash talk your friend. My experience in that in-house games tend to have less learning value unless you're extremely focused on your learning, unless it's really easy to get sucked into random banter. Oh, but Jai, that's on you. I see what you mean. So you're saying if you sit down with your teammates and do like 2-player Netrunner, you're all just hanging out. No, you can't do that. You need focused Netrunner where you have no pride. You have like, it's really, really important to have no pride, to be serious about it, and to get good games in. 2v2 in-house seems like max value, maybe. Yeah, especially because y'all know each other. You know how they play. So we should just run this. We should run HQ. Banhar this. This is more important. Okay. I don't even think we need to put down Miss Bones, I'll be honest. Yeah, we don't need to put down Miss Bones. Like, worst case is a Tranquility, and then we feel bad that we didn't put down Miss Bones, but I'm not sure. Yeah, if it's a Maryland, you should still put down Bones. Yeah, maybe we should have. Maybe that's a fallacy. All right. So I actually think we're going to flush the 2 from the top of R&D. We could run this and they could res an ablative, but we can trash anything. So I'm just going to see 2 from the R&D. I'm assuming they got agendas out of their hand. This is how you know Andre is a pro. Instead of doing what I do and talk about why things are suboptimal, says the deck is really cool and makes smart calls. Hey, Jeff, how are you doing? How's the factory? How's the family? Fully op? Cool, Hagen. Cool. Okay. I'm just going to play daily cast, I think. I think the Mistbone's actually better for moshing. Honestly, we probably should mosh the daily cast. So we can go for an Axis. A lot of these are just like dead cards in our hand. We're drawing once a turn with Hoshiko, whatever. They have a lot of work to do before they can win. So we can go a bit slower here, but we probably should have gone through. I wouldn't have expected that to be a hot take. Getting a wider variety of opponents is surely a better representation of walking to tournament exclusive playing the same opponents. Trenzer, I don't 100% agree. And that's because it's just like the quality. It's like, getting good at beating Chiraboga is actually really bad for you if you're trying to learn Netrunner. This is an issue, and I put out like System Gateway content about Chiraboga, and I don't mean to compare JNet Casual to Chiraboga, but firstly, you need to play against good, consistent opponents because that's the only way that you're going to do better, right? Like against Chiraboga, you can play absolute sloppy Netrunner, you can play really bad fundamentals, and you'll still win 8 out of 10 times. We'll reduce that to 4 out of 5 times. But when you play against a strong opponent who's playing a focused deck, you need to really like question. One of the biggest issues that people get, like why people don't improve in Netrunner, is they don't question their inherent bullshit. Like you do bad habits all the time and you either autopilot or you think it's the correct thing to do so you don't challenge it. I'm no different, I'll be honest, right? Everyone's like this. And so when you're in situations where you don't have to sweat and you don't have to think, it's actually way more common that you develop bad fundamentals. JNet Casual equals Chiraboga, you here to hit first? No, but that's the idea. It's like, it's such a wide range of opponent spread that like, who knows what's going to happen. Jinteki.bogue. Where's the lie? Oh, man. But just like, watch out. You don't want to get too comfortable. Always, if you want to get better, play a better opponent. And again, this is not talking about my opponent currently. I'm having a great time here, but I just mean in general, if you want to get better at the game. All right, so we know that they have a Hagen. I think we can just Banhar our HQ. If they res, we're happy. We can pre-install the Boomerang on R&D. That's probably better. We want to play an event here. I would actually consider just pinholing for no damn reason. No, I'm gonna mosh. I'm gonna mosh this hand. This hand is not a hand we want. This hand got worse. The Maw is really good though. So we can do Maw run HQ. This is our last Cleaver, though. Cleaver's really expensive to break Hagen. I'd rather just face check into Hagen. I'd rather put the Hoshiko, the Banhar anywhere else. I need to start streaming again so I can say this unironically. Yeah, sorry, Jeff. You're probably pretty busy. Shit, I don't know what to do here. This is where, like, Maw is overkill, but, like, it's totally fine. It actually might be okay to do Maw. Oh, no, it's not Breach Step. We can't do Maw run server 2. I'll draw once. We could do Maw, run HQ. I think we just run Archives. I just want to keep Hoshiko working for us. But I wish we didn't put Hoshiko on HQ. Maybe let's just get the Cleaver down so we don't lose it. Next and Bass, really interesting. Okay. I'll put the Cleaver down so at least next turn we can do Maw, run HQ. We won't flatline. True and Counter-Strike 2, True and Netrunner, Steel sharpens Steel. Scholar Kirby, how's it going? Chiraboga isn't actually an AI, it just connects up to me. You're playing against me. 0 hour. Sorry about everything I said. So sorry. When I first getting back into Netrunner in 2022, Jai says, I sparred with NB Kelly a bunch, and every time I played, he asked if I'd like to play against a real deck or against this round one bullshit. Okay, that's... I would not say that. I think there's a very small factor of playgroup biased gameplay that can lead you to develop suboptimal habits, but yeah, you're going to get a lot worse results from Cheerbook. Yeah, 100%. And like playgroups have their own biases that are really, really funny. I would love to hear every playgroup like shout out their own biases. Either what you think the expected meta is, or like certain playgroups don't respect a certain deck, and so they don't test against it, and then they like lose to it, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm good, thanks. Love your deck building series. Oh, cheers. Thank you. Useless pinhole stonk seem up. Like, I would consider it. It's a bummer that we didn't get twinning this turn. But like, we're kind of in the driver's seat here right now. So we'll just like maw run server 2. Probably not trash it. My playgroup slots 3x steel skins and Arasana because of me. Yeah, that shit's gonna happen. Oh, it was cool. It was like a hedge fund, fully up. So now they could probably do 3 net damage to us. We could flatline to an Endless Yule. No, we break Endless Yule. It will be fine. Ooh, Paladin's here. So I'm just going to get this down. We're just going to face check. Maybe the Miss Bones was worth something. I don't know. I think we're going to win sooner than need 12 credits. I'm hoping. Oh, what's this thing do? This does core damage. Oh, yeah, they care about damage. So it says deal 1 core damage, then the court may draw a card. Unfortunately, these just say net damage. So this is as good as any of them. You paid 6 credits for a drafter face check. That feels bad. So let fire. What could happen here is Steel Skin could draw into our echelon. We could lose our echelon. I mean, not even close, but we did lose every single boomerang. We don't die to snare. They don't have credits. They're just playing some cool cards. You don't see this card. Offworld, okay. I think here we're like pretty safe to be safe. I honestly would do valueless pinhole here. I think I would consider doing garbage pinhole. Hear me out, garbage pinhole. I've never done this before. Well, Mystic's on the way out and I want a 20 charge. I'm going to play garbage pinhole. I don't care. Talk about learning bad fundamentals when I'm out here doing garbage pinholes. Woof. Jaina Casual's pretty good for learning your own deck, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. Hey, Antoine, how's it going? Good games. Yeah. I wanted Mystic to charge the twinning. Yeah, we could have jacked out there. We didn't have to do anything. Nothing really taxes. Are you sure you're not from the future? Wait, I didn't predict anything. I think it can go both ways. If you play on Jaina enough, you start to recognize people who play at a certain level and you play casuals with them. And more often, if you're looking for a good game. Well, yeah, I think everyone like develops a list of players they would like if they see them waiting for a lobby, they would be happy to. Okay, hold on. That sounds really miserable. They'd be excited to jump in to be like, oh, I know this is going to be a matchup that I enjoy or a player that like plays in play style. And then there's like people on Jaina who play like PE Grinder and you're like, I'm going to add you to my block list. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for sure. But like if I'm grinding for a tournament specifically, I'll probably play games on Jaina casual to understand what my deck does and what mulligans look like and drawing and what it's capable of. But if I really want to buckle down, I'll like call up friends and be like, hey, do you want to sit down on a Friday night and play some games? Yeah, it is. It totally is. Just the deck list of the week. No one in our play group plays acid spam, so it's so different when I come across in the wild. Yeah, you need that sort of training, Spooky. That's a kind of matchup that if you don't know what to do, it's really, really a lot. It's hard to deal with acid spam for the first time. I asked someone in my meta what it was like having me in the same meta as them, and their snap response was to press. Yikes. I played it recently. I think it's a new player. They're nice. What beacon of positivity. This is something, I don't know, like... Jai, say that it's a casual GNK, right? I don't think Jai has anything to prove. I'll be the first to say it. Jai has nothing to prove. But what do you show up with the GNK? Like, do you show up with a tournament deck that you enjoy? Like, do you play like Asa with Holloman? Or do you think this is a GNK? It's my social responsibility to play something a bit less optimal. Because I don't know either. It's a GNK, but I want to play like the decks that I think are fun, except those are generally tier 1 decks, which like, is that not the right spot? Like, is that what a GNK is not for? Should I not show up? Like, I honestly don't know how to interact with it. This is a Sentry. It's a Code Gate. 4 strength? Where's my Takobi? You do ban her last. All right. So we don't actually have to run this. I honestly am a bit scared of their ice because they're clearly up to like some next level damage strat that I'm not sure what it is, and I'm frightened to die to snare or something. I don't feel like it's a good way to lose the game on 6 points. So I'm just going to say Banhar goes nowhere today. Banhar's just going to hang out. So we're going to Mystic, we're going to Dirty Laundry. They probably need a couple turns to win, so we're totally fine just hanging out. Okay, that's good. That's a don't die strat. And now we can install our Carmen even cheaper. I'm kidding, it's not a Carmen, but I made a successful run. No one has an obligation to not play to win. Jordan, I see where you're coming from. I don't know if I 100% agree though. Isn't that weird? If there are cool alt arts on the line, I'll play more competitive decks. Yes. I think if I already had the alt arts that were part of the prize support, it would change what I want to bring. I'm showing up to casual GNK tomorrow with Big Seb. How big, Andrew? GNK, P or bust? That was me! I played P! I've been playing P at every casual event recently. That's a nano etching. That's totally fine. Rubicon Lows is how I won my first GNK and how you lost your first friend. Sorry, Kyle. My playgroup bias is that I oracle for a guy who's much better than me and get confused when I go to Jane and casual by myself and he isn't telling me how to play the game good. Oh, hey, I can oracle right now if you want. Hey, Radish, good evening. How you doing? GNK's for practice. Play your best if you want. But what isn't for practice then? It feels like everything's for practice. Somehow since Worlds, I've gotten more and more into Prism decks, and I've inflicted this on Bay Area meta. Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten into PE recently. I've really got into Loud recently, I'll be honest. They're icing up archives. I'm not sure why. I guess it's a bit of Maw respect. Now, the cool thing is with this card, if it's not a Spin Doctor, and we haven't seen a Spin Doctor yet, we've gone through a lot of the deck, is that we can Maw it. So I'm going to put Banhar in HQ. This is strictly incorrect, but I hit the button. We should definitely see the card we draw first. Okay, so we're just going to install the Buzzsaw and hope that we don't need it. I'm also not going to use the They Miss Bones because I'd rather have cards in hand. I don't care. I don't expect us to trash this. I expect us to bounce off of it or it be a Spin Doctor. It's a Maryland. They're rezzing it. Okay, fantastic. So we're not going to trash it, so they lose a card. So now we can go see 3 cards from the top of R&D. With 12 credits, we can break just about every ice in the format that they can res on 5. In a way that's safe, and we can't die to snare. They can't fire 2 snares. I'm on snare alert, I'll be honest. Thinking of building a similar Mirror Morph epic for the same GNK as Andrew tomorrow. Well, that's why I figure out what Andrew's playing. Ask him how many clots he has. The last point is exactly what I was trying to get on. There's value to testing against unknown players, decks that you won't necessarily get from exclusive in-house testing. Ooh, Drafter, okay, great. That's why also 3 strength really matters. This installation of the Buzzsaw honestly saves us. Like, it's worth its money, straight up. If we don't like the card on top of the deck, we can also just run the Maryland and shuffle. But this should win the game. Eli, Gross, Vampy. Whoa! A virus. This is not a good draw for them, so I don't... Oh no, we should trash it, just because they're not going to draw it anytime soon. But a lot of times, like, don't people trash stuff off the top of R&D too much. Stop doing that. Like, them drawing this is not a good draw. Now, the difference here is we also want to win the game. But I think it's more likely we'll run HQ and see 2 cards. So I will trash this, just because they're not drawing it soon. Trashing Maryland campaign is also legitimate. We probably could do this, but this is more proactive. On 2 credits, they could actually res on Ablative Last Click. This is a bit of a risk, I'll be honest, but there's nothing in the bin that we've seen, like no Rashidas so far. In fact, it looks like they're playing oh no, they're not playing entirely NSG cards. They have a Noreen 2.0. Your social responsibility is not to be sweaty, casual rules, and not to be a sore winner or a loser. Well, one of those I'm doing okay. Hey, we found it! We knew the Biotic was in there, I totally forgot. They were just sending it. They were just going for points. Thanks for the game. But Biotic, you're more pretty dang cool. That's a really cool interaction. Biotic install advanced, get some Mirror Morph, draw a card halfway through. I think that's pretty neat. I'm on a chat. 60? Okay, 60 is like... you'll feel okay playing 60, I think, Andrew. Feel a certain responsibility to give the rest of my meta a fighting chance if that's what you mean. Jai plays with one hand tied. Loud isn't prison? No, Loud is not prison, but I do think a lot of people don't enjoy playing against Loud casually. I messed up my math. I think I had a lot of fun. Hey, great to hear. Great to hear. Thanks. Thanks for the game, eh? Like, I'd play Hermes Dow if there was no deck building friction involved. Oh man, that sounds like a prison deck, doesn't it? It's a very political answer. Hey, cheers. I don't know exactly what I answered politically to, but I'm not surprised. What type of P is Andre playing? I'm playing Loud, so like Prana P. Like the QTM, I'm playing D's list from Worlds. It didn't win Worlds, so it's not the best deck. Am I right? It's pretty damn good though. Let's send it back. The only time you have an obligation to not try and win is in formats like MTG Commander, where the social expectation is that you're bringing a deck that's created for everyone to have a good time. I have never played Commander, like 4-player Commander, but I'm so fascinated with the idea that like in Commander, your deck is not meant to be that good. It's meant to be okay. Okay, this is going to be, we've played against Saturday before. It's playing like that thing that scales with operations. I don't know if it's on punitive. What's the one? The money one. Cares about transactions. We're going to need a turbine. Then I'll probably take PD partly because I think newer players will know it, and partly because I probably won't have time to sleeve something different. My Flower Sermon Ocarina deck, on the other hand, that's miserable to play against. I think regular meetups can suggest that people bring jankier decks if they so choose, and in that case, you can elect to not show up if you prefer to only play tier 1 decks, but if they don't, then you can play what you like, because it ain't a crime to have fun. John, so, in a couple weeks, our local organizer is organizing a system gateway, I think, or startup. I think it's system gateway or startup, an event. And I don't know if that's a tournament for me. And it's not that I don't enjoy system gateway or startup. It's like, I'm assuming the tournament will be better if I'm not there. Right? Like, that's a weird thing to talk about. But like, I'm pretty sure this tournament is a space for other people and not Andre. You know what I mean? You absolutely have an obligation to be more flexible and patient with all aspects of the game, but you have always trying to win the actual game, in my opinion. The balance is a fascinating discussion. It's hard to get right. The obligation to be flexible and patient, 100%. I 100% agree with that. Oh, D's in chat. Shit, I should talk D. Everyone, be cool. Don't rat on me. Andre beat me on Tuesday with P 7-6, and it was a great game, even though he's a degenerate P player. I honestly think the P games I played on Tuesday were some of the grindiest P games I've ever played with that dang deck. I don't know what happened. D, you might need to send help, but they've just all been like absolute prisons. I think we're just going to do Paladin Dirty Laundry. That will put us down to enough money to play Daily Cast. We do Paladin first, because in case we hit an agenda, we can get a Paladin credit. We found that it is technically a transaction. So I think we can just do, I honestly would consider Maw run R&D. Did Saria mulligan? They mulled, but they have a Spin Doctor. I honestly would consider trashing the Spin Doctor. They might not let us have it. I'm glad they didn't. So now we don't know what they're drawing, but I'd rather just get the cast down. That was maybe a scuff turn. Poured one out at the crossroads. He looked at me and I revealed a snare, and then I died inside. As someone who's typically middle of the ladder for most games, I only get better if other players aren't pulling punches. Respect retained. Literally just joined the chat. Hey D, how's it going? Powers that P is better than loud. I said it. I want to play more acid P, but like the conversation only gets so cursed. At some point, people are like, "What are you doing?" But like, I want to play acid P. There's like cool tricks to it. I think I'm just gonna play the steel skin. Okay. So the worst case scenario is that we boomerang HQ and it doesn't res. We can just do twinning daily casts and charge the twinning. I think that actually might be fine. We're okay taking a turn off here because I don't think this is going to be a particularly fast matchup. So we can go Hoshiko in and out. We don't just need card draw, especially because we have a boomerang for an early push. So I think we're just going to do this, not use the Paladin so that we can install the daily cast for the Paladin and just click for a credit. Or actually probably draw a card, which means we did this in the wrong order. So here we're going to click for a credit out of, no, we're going to draw a card. Yeah, we did that in the wrong order. Don't worry about it. Hey, Cephalblood. I think Powers That Be is good. I remember trying it at one point. D, when I played loud, I got into so many scenarios where like I played against, okay, so on Tuesday, I'll do a recap after this, but on Tuesday I played against like Crew Hosh, and my remote server is like an unresed Vampire Nasa. I was just like, I gotta play grinder now. Like I can't make the remote server matter. And I did grind. I did dude grind, yes. Okay, now we're gonna face check. Assuming that we'll get a res, which we can boomerang. If this is a Winchester, it's not a great res. So we're just going to face check here. And then we'll get the boomerang just so that we can ensure that we can get the boomeranged access. The problem is we have no program, so SDSs are entirely safe. You have people in your commander groups who play like casual. I wish that's true. Nervous laughter. Okay, so they're not resing. So I'm assuming it's only SDSs in here. We'll see too. Gov sub, Basalt. Okay. So we have to be punitive now. So we're going to get 2 more credits and a link. So getting up to 4 cards doesn't matter. Just getting credits matters. So I'm just going to try and beat double punitive. We could just die to double punitive here, honestly. They would do credit gov sub, and then they only have 1 click, so I think we're safe. Drawing a card here is not important if we're worried about punitive. Okay, they have 22 credits, so they might still be on punitive. So they didn't want to res probably because they're playing gov sub, so that's fine. We definitely have to install a card here. I think I'm going to still run HQ. They played the 1 card that we knew. They still have an armed acid protection. Oh no, they shuffled, so we don't know what they know. So we'll just run HQ here. Now they have a couple transactions, so if we just like beef it into that barrier, it's like whatever. It's like 2 credit swing. It's a Hordem. Oh, sick. Okay, so that's fine. That's good to know. So we don't really have to go Boomerang HQ. I think we just want to continue to set up. If we go Boomerang HQ, we touch a card, but we actually touch a card this turn. So we're just going to draw, install daily casts. We can Maw eventually. I'm not actually like that excited for Maw here. This is where like I'd rather have Keiko, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to discard any cards. Ooh, that's a weird glitch. When you like slide the card over, it tells it in the chat log. It kind of feels bad. I'll just click for credit here, I guess. I literally cannot bring myself to do Commander because building a deck not to win is antithetical to my personhood. I'm excited for Mystery Hunt. I can't spoil anything besides the fact it'll be phenomenal. D, what's Mystery Hunt? If it takes tier 1 decks, it blends nicely with my tier less than 1 ability, so we'll all have fun. Okay, this beats Boomerang. The only thing we're worried about here is Eminent. We know nothing about the hand, but we can definitely raindrops a remote server and see what the heck happens. I think I'm fine with that. If they don't res, we'll trash a wall to wall. If they do res, it's a hammer. Oh, fuck. Okay. I guess we'll draw 3 cards and lose a twinning. We got 2 of those. I want to try playing a suboptimal system gateway or startup deck, and I don't know if I want to spend the time getting to the event, playing an entry fee, and then playing not as good Netrunner and smashing people that are just learning the game. For me, it's like, I think gateway and startup is fun. I don't think it's suboptimal Netrunner, but it's more about like, this seems like a space for newer players. I think if we want a tournament, sick. It should be a tournament about like, we got 2 tags. A tournament where it's like, you know, like a team tournament where you pair a newer player with a more experienced player potentially. Okay, we got a lot of cards in hand. This is likely a wall to wall. We have 2 tags, but we probably should clear them, which means we just install 1 card, discard 4. Feels bad. Mystery Hunt is one of the best puzzle hunts of the year. I don't know what that is. I'm behind on chat, excuse me as well. So we can install a card here. What is the most important card? So Banhar is pretty important. I think we just install the Banhar and let the Paladin ride. If that's the case, what are we discarding? Honestly, I think the Maw will discard. It's going to be hard to make single runs here. Finality seems really important. Core damage might matter. The Echelon's not super important because it's really bad early. It's going to be a lot of money before the hammer does anything, so we can probably get rid of that. What else? The Pinhole seems like not great because it's iced up everything. The twinning is important. The second Maw is the last Maw, so maybe we can hold on to that. Raindrops seems okay. Would they spend 14 credits defending a wall to wall? You think we're going to get above the law? I think that's the only other thing that makes sense. Is like, maybe it's an above the law. Would they spend 14 credits? I don't honestly know. Maybe? They have to res their ice anyways. Like, we drew too many cards. Maybe they're happy. I think we have to, like, I'm getting rid of the pinhole. We have 2 of these. We don't need this. Here's a challenge. Show up to the tournament with the Catalyst and the Syndicate and see how many games you can win. I think you can. You can win some. For sure. Puzzle Hunt is basically an event where you get a bunch of puzzles and have to solve them. Like Puzzle Pint? I used to do Puzzle Pint. Even Commander, you're supposed to be building to win. The social contract is that the win doesn't come. Ooh. 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 That's why they paid big money. Exactly like Puzzle Pint. Okay, sick. They have an Atlas with a counter. They played double seamless. They're on 3 credits. Undo click. Advance it once more. Come on. 1 more. What are you going to do last click? Click for credit? Yeah, that's it. That's way better. Okay, they're on 2 credits. This could be an ice wall. So let's just go see some cards. So we can do install the twinning just so we don't lose it and just finality. Losing the boomerang actually would kind of suck. We actually probably can just slow down here and install the twinning, install the Maw, run R&D. That's better. We don't need a finality. Let's just like be reasonable. So we'll install this for nothing. We'll install this, I mean for no savings, for 2 savings. Then we'll run R&D C2 and then rip the 1 card out of hand. This is probably a bit more proactive. We still can't deal with SDSs. Armed, it's always armed. Atlas stole that. Nice. That was the best option. Hoshiko's going to flip, which is great. Armed is on the top, which they're totally playable, and they have Atlas. We're set up to win in a turn. Great. Andre, you put the ass in ass. Thanks, Ian. How you doing? I think my philosophy is slowly becoming there are enough good cards in Netrunner that unique cards that don't trash themselves should be rarely be one-ofs. There's the armed. D in what context? Daily Cash, Hoshiko, Paladin. Okay. R&D. This is our first cleaver. As soon as we install this cleaver, we have to deal with Archer. We could run HQ in C2 and get a Maw. That seems really useful. I think that's actually probably fine. We put Ben-Hur in R&D. Yeah, that's fine. If they had an agenda they put in the remote server, though, this doesn't feel great. It has Maw attached to it, though. That feels good. I think they're like ice that I don't know the name of. Money blocks or something. It cost 7 to res. Yeah, we'll Maw on the second one. Logjam, okay. And we Maw not the Logjam. So the one card in hand is Logjam. You can tell that. Blockchain, Alex, thank you. That's the one. So we know that they have a blockchain in hand. I will simply draw. Okay, we have a Takobi. That's useful. Notice how this card doesn't seem as good as having a turbine. We can afford another. I'll just install a cleaver so we have it. I know there's a logjam. I hate installing this last click because we just saw a logjam. That was not great. Whatever. Like your commander deck is disallowing one player from ever getting to play the game or cause your turns to rock on for 20 to 30 minutes. I'm really behind on chat, excuse me. I know it's a net win for the community to show up and play in startup tournaments because it encourages new players to show up and play, but I don't feel comfortable going, if that makes sense. I kind of hear you. All right, Spin Doctor. So we should run archives to some extent. MTG Commander's usually supposed to have a rule 0 talk saying what power level. Yeah, didn't they have their system after their whole thing collapsed that you're meant to like have a power ranking for your deck so there's an understanding what the experience is? It's only because Hoshiko's moshing and banner. Oh yeah, against a lot of my strategies grind out. If the threat of grinder is in there, it's very hard to score out. Okay, so they're still on 7 credits. So we'll do Hoshiko first. Okay, that's whatever. Daily cast Paladin. So we can run R&D and see 5 cards and get them off if we wanted to. I think we will. We also could start by running archives. The only blowout is a hammer. A hammer on archives is really bad. But also it's bad for them. Let's run archives to force the Spin Doctor first, and then we can finality with confidence. So let's raindrops archives. So you're not socially allowed to play turn 1-2 win combos at most tables. But you're socially pressured not to play the best decks because that's not playing to win most tables are not CEDH. Corporate hospitality government. Okay, a lot of transactions in there. Okay, so I'm going to just finality. Oh no, we could die. We could fly line to a bunch of things. We won't have enough cards in hand. We have to draw once. Okay, that makes this way safer. Ooh, way safer. I was talking to Kevin about Mystery Hunt last night. Sounds like a lot of fun. So we only see 4 cards here. Oops, game's over. Cool. I don't know what their game plan is. Just to go fast, I think. We didn't see any defensive upgrades. We didn't see boarding control. Thanks for the game. Where are the blockchains at? Like, I'm not sure they're even on punitive. I think it's just money and ice. And money ice is a tricky line to hold on to when you're your opponent's deck is just like getting breakers down into Kobe, let alone Boomerang and Banhar. It's really hard to make your deck just be about ice. Ooh, Andre wants a pro M Netrunner tournament. I don't. That's the thing is like I don't even play competitive Netrunner like consistently, so I don't even know if I want it. That's what an NPC was meant to be. Solid tuning to assert dominance. I'm really behind. Hold on, let me just catch up on chat. I'll catch up on chat and then we can do a little recap section. How's everyone doing? Happy Thursday night. I was a bit under like just bummer mood today. I'm feeling a lot better. I think a lot of it's all your fault. Funny you mentioned team tournaments. I'm currently hosting a Malifaux League that had the intent newer players paired up with older and participate in an official Doomtown event that did similar. Ah, super cool. I played decks like that or tournaments like that in the past, where it's meant to be an experienced player teams up with a less experienced player, and then you play against a team where the experienced players play each other and the unexperienced players play each other, except you're allowed to table talk. And it's such a nice format. Just because it firstly like allows people to insert themselves into, you know, the the ecosystem to be like, hey, I'm so-and-so. I've been playing Netrunner here for 6 years. You're now my friend, which like, not that that's an issue in regular Netrunner meetups. But then also having table talk is really good, where sometimes the newer player meant to be like, hey, I'm thinking of keeping this hand. Should I keep it or should I mulligan? Or what do you think is in the remote server? And sometimes just getting a little kick on those questions like makes them fly the rest of the game. A Cold Lava, political side of Commander seems really wild to me. It gets in a board game, but I get it in a board game, but in a card game, just shifting the blame to the next person at the table seems weird. Someone's got to stop them from winning in Root. It's not me. Someone's going to do it. Good luck. Have fun the rest of the night, Gyro. Thank you for dropping in. Jigsaw puzzles or riddles? They're definitely like puzzles. If y'all don't know this, I used to do this. I haven't done this in a long time. I even did this during the pandemic. Puzzled Pint is this like organization that every first Tuesday or first Monday of the month, they'll put out basically like a little booklet of puzzles, and they're distributed at the same time, technically because of time zones, not the same time. And if you're really sweaty about it, you can upload your score and your time because you can time how fast you do it. But they have all the puzzles up on their channel, up on their website from classic things, and they're themed, and there's generally a meta puzzle. So once you solve the smaller puzzles, there's a meta puzzle. These are really, really great. They're really quite fun. And it's a lot of effort that goes into organizing this and distributing it. But you get a puzzle pack and there's an answer sheet if you want it. But they're just like puzzles like this. They're logic puzzles, some trivia elements. They're not always like word things. Sometimes they're math things and pattern recognition and like rebuses. Like really, really cool for the certain kind of dork you probably are. I used to do this every month with friends. We'd go, they're usually at a pub, so you can go out and get food and get some drink. And it's kind of nice. It's kind of like sort of the vibe of pub trivia, the same sort of clientele, but it's like people doing nerd math. By the way, D, I really love the Netrunner puzzle you made at Worlds. Oh, I was meant to do D's. Yeah, it's very similar to one. D put out some puzzles on the wall and I never did them. I heard that D was getting responses that were way higher than what they expected, but I probably want to do them on stream at some time. Brennan, how's it going? Thinking already Netrunner puzzles for next year. D, I've heard good stuff about those. I think they're appreciated. Clearly they are. Hold on. I'm just catching up on chat. I'm so sorry. Power ratings for decks are typically a joke. Either the player will not understand the game enough to be able to honestly rate their deck, or they'll mislead it. But I think they're like formalizing it, where if you have certain cards from certain tiers, it becomes like your deck is the highest tier of a single card in your deck, from my understanding. Just submitted 3 more job apps. Excited to learn what meta I'll get to bully. All the best, dude. Good luck with the job hunt. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to catch up on chat. California, Chicago. I guess I'm aware you're not getting enjoyment from my suffering. I'm going down to Portland tomorrow for a mega game this weekend. Really excited. Haven't played one of those in like 5 years since the pandemic. Oh, mega games are where like everyone comes together and has a role and does a thing like Model UN. Those sound really, really cool. The September 2024 Puzzle Pint is the best in years IMO. Which one did we open? September 2024. So D is saying this one's really good. Choose your own adventure. It sounds already good. Oh, also to find out the location, you have to do a puzzle, which is really fun. You technically don't have to, but they like the organizers locally in your city, if they do that, they pick a bar or a place, but to figure out what bar they choose, because they're meant to go to different bars every month so you can like see the city or whatever, there's a little puzzle that you get to do that's posted on the website 1 week before. If you don't figure out that puzzle, they'll just tell you where it is. You can be like, I give up, but you technically have to solve a puzzle to figure out where to solve more puzzles. So this is a choose your own adventure. Oh wait, this looks hella cool. Whoa, this looks really cool. People probably do these on streams. Sipping on a pint at the tavern, you contemplate where you should find your next big quest. You overhear a druid from a nearby table. A great evil has taken root in the kingdom. The only way to destroy it is to collect the 4 orbs of choice. Perfect. Sounds like your quest has been decided for you. Oh, whoa, this is really sick, dude. Yeah, no kidding, huh? Explore the ancient ruins. We go to 2. You arrive at the ruins and are greeted by a friendly archaeologist even. She hands you a clipboard. Order room gems. She continues. Yeah, man, this seems great. Again, even on days where Puzzle Pint wasn't going on, every once in a while, my partner and I, we'd print these out and just like do them. Like they're always good. They're always good fun. Since 7, I spent like 3 hours with a spreadsheet of one of D's puzzles. One of my favorite memories at Worlds. The GCHQ Christmas puzzles are fun too. Ian, I don't know what that is. We have to make sure he never catches up to chat. I did it. All right. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're well. Okay, we had a GNK on Tuesday. I'm just gonna do a little quick meta recap before we get into some more Netrunner. We had 12 players come out on Tuesday, which is sick. It is a GNK, so it's not like a huge competitive tournament, but I'll just tell you what I played and how it goes and my learnings. I'll focus on a couple mistakes I made because that's largely what I want to remember is what mistakes did you make? And so I showed up with two decks. Firstly, the Pawn Shop Lat deck that I built last Thursday with Patrick live on stream. I want to be very clear. I think this deck archetype hella slaps. I think this archetype is really quite good and always surprises me in many interesting ways of how flexible and powerful it possibly is. Now, unfortunately, it was a 5-round event, and so I only was able to play Runner twice, and I played my Corporation 3 times, which is a bummer. Because honestly, if he said play Lat 5 times and never play Corporation, I would be so excited because I just want to go out and play Lat and get more reps in with Lat. The Corp deck I played on the other side was D's List, the Lao Deer deck that came in second at Worlds. You probably know what that deck is. It's also very, very, very good, and I just enjoy playing it, and I had it sleeved up. So this deck we played on Thursday, the short of the long is it's a pawn shop deck. So you gain 3 credits when you trash a card. And then the things that make this more exciting and more fresh is Prognostic Tulip is just really, really good. It gives you click compression to install your stuff. The deck is actually structured in a way to play as few events and resources as possible. It's still playing a couple more events and resources than you probably should. But the idea is that just about everything you can install off the top of your deck on both turns. I think DZMZs, I'm not actually convinced I like these. I'll probably play one if none at all. I don't love this slot. But the idea is that you install things off the top of your deck. The deck is also functions, so most of its win condition is programs and hardware, mostly programs, just so the deck can fire as consistently as possible. So the idea is that we're actually playing Nyasha. Probably one of these should just be a conduit, I'll be honest. But it's just the idea that we have a win condition that we can get some multi-access, simul chip it, or more likely pawn shop it, let alone install it clicklessly mid-run sometimes, which is really great. Now, this deck is not optimal. There's a couple things I was really impressed with. Firstly, Burner. I don't know if people are respecting Burner. Burner's really good as an anti-combo tech tool. That's probably not a surprise to anyone. Burner's really powerful right now. But I also think Burner is just one of the most cracked cards that Shaper has gotten in the last set. Like, obviously, Trick Shot's one thing, but Burner's just kind of messed up. And the way that I would play Burner, I was convinced that I was going to play Burner early just to slow down the Corporation. Because setting up a pawn shop feels a bit slow, and it is a bit slow. But good thing with this deck is that you have, of course, Lily Pad, so you set up a bit faster, so installing your cards draws cards, and you also just get cards on the table to pawn a bit faster with Prognostic anyway, so I'm not too worried. Actually, I would consider playing 3 Prognostic. Probably wrong, but it's really, really fun. But what I found out, the way that Burner got played is usually just to win games. Like, you could play Deep Dive in this deck, and maybe you should, but the idea is that I would get to 3 to 4 points, and then you just Burner HQ, find an agenda, put on top of R&D, run R&D, and win. Like, not only is it bottoming combo pieces, but you just find an agenda, put on top of R&D, win. As long as you can deal with spin doctors, and specifically because we're playing Lat, the spin doctors are sussed out relatively quickly because people want to spitefully res their spin doctor so you can't draw cards, which feels better than I think it is on a lot of board states. But a lot of people just like you figure out what their spin doctors are, and as long as there's no spin doctors on the top, like this is basically a legwork with extra steps, and it's honestly just good enough for no influence. I found this thing to be incredible. I also found Compilation just to be hella good. Same sort of idea. If you know they have an agenda in hand, you just run HQ, couplate 1 card, run HQ, use the Compilation, and you see 4 cards. That just wins, right? Get to 4 points, couple 8 HQ, you win. It's just really, really good. Now, why is this deck not optimal? It's running Boitada. This is not good. It's just a very unfortunate card. When you have the ability to trash a card every turn, which you largely do, it's still not even that good of a killer. I wish this card was like bad when it didn't have its text on, but it was like legitimately good when the text was on, and it was like worth building around. But if you can like, get Boitada to fire every single turn, it's just definitely not worth it still. You can easily play Echelon and then have 2 influence. I'm wondering how to spend the 2 influence, and the thing that I'm kind of agreeing on right now is kind of Gachapon. And that's because it's a bit of a setup card. You can install a program on the Corporation's turn to draw with your Lily Pad, which is nice. It gets your extra copies of events you don't want to draw, your pawn shops, your consoles, your DZs. This seems okay. It also is a cheap install off your Prognostic Q Loop, which is not too bad. I can't think of a better way to spend 2 influence, I'll be honest, because my rules, I want to keep it as a hardware program because I want Prognostic to fire as much as possible. And I think Gachapon's the best I have. So I'm not sure what to do, but this deck is really, really fun. Again, I think if you want to make it more powerful, and I'll probably do a deck list dive on this in the near future, I just need to figure out what not to play instead of Boitada. I played Boitada. It's not great. It's just not worth it. This is quality jank, I approve. It puts boost ability on the Icebreaker. Eye for an Eye Compilation is the latest tech in HQ sweeping. Yes. Yeah. Or like twinning or whatever. Burner's such a good card, and I don't believe in using spin to night lat draw. Yeah, I agree. I don't think you should often do it. This deck just feels really good. It feels really good. I think people can optimize this. Again, you probably don't need the Nyasha, but this is just fun to play. So I brought it, had a great time. Anyways, round 1, very funny. So round 1, I sit down and lo and behold, my opponent is, you might have been familiar with their recent Netrunner play. It's Antoine. straight off the back of winning a 90-person tournament. I'm sitting down across from Antoine and I'm laughing because I know Antoine's deck list card for card because I spent hours looking at it on the weekend. And Antoine's like, am I meant to bring the deck that I want a massive event to a casual GNK? I feel pretty bad, but I'm like, it's what Antoine had sleeved up, so why the heck not? We're all very happy for Antoine. So I know the deck list card for card. I think I can do an okay job with this matchup. I think Antoine's start wasn't fantastic. I still steal an early Beal in a remote server. Antoine thought I would think it's a Behold, but I don't respect that. And then at some point he puts 2 ice on the table and I have an overclock and an SMC and I already installed a propeller. I think turn 2, I put down a propeller and I ran the remote server and it was not a ping, it was a VSA, but I found a Beal, so it's great. Anyways, I overclock a remote server and it's like a Sarievna, which fires because I'm not breaking this thing. It's a real pain in the ass, especially because he's already paid me 2 credits, like it's fine. And then behind it is a VSA and I buzzsaw through that. And then behind that is just like a degree mill hanging out. And so I just get rid of my buzzsaw and I'm like, I'm just not running that server anymore. And I'm on 5 points. And being up on 5 points is huge because I just basically don't have to run much. The only way that things get really bad is if Antoine scores 2 false leads, which Antoine did score 1 false lead. And from that point, I just don't want to bumble into a Behold. The game wins. I go for my first burner and I find like an end of the line and like a Behold and I bottom those, but I don't find an agenda, which is a bummer. And then I go for the second burner a couple turns later. I think there's one big oppo that goes across, but the turn that the oppo goes across, I have like a simul chip for a Muse and a Coalescence on top of it. So I know I have 6 credits of economy coming in off of the pawn shop. So I can eat the what's it called? The oppo, no problem. I just clear the tags and it's not an issue. So I end up getting to 7 points. Again, felt unfair because I know the deck list card for card and I don't think Antoine knew mine, but it was it's a matchup that I was kind of sweating a bit because you just run into a bad Behold at a point in time. It's not great. Best deck name of 2025 already dropped. I showed Antoine that like you were very, very happy. I know you put a comment on this. I think this is really quite funny, but this is an archetype, Ian, I know that's quite dear to you. And Antoine was worried to be like, oh, I wonder what Rongi Dodge is going to think about this because it's kind of his thing. And I'm like, yeah, I think Rongi thinks this is great. So don't worry about it. Hannah is a good use of 2 influence, honestly, not Q loopable, but extra clicks and anti-tag is nice. Oh yeah, Hannah's not bad. Yeah, I kind of really wanted to keep it to program and hardware, but there's a chance Hannah is just like good enough. But then as soon as you consider Hannah, you can consider all the other sort of stuff that might be okay, like Fenris, probably not. I want to play Mache. That can't be right. Anyways, that was round 1. Round 2, I play against Martin, a local player. You might know Martin wrote a long time ago. There was like a text adventure online, like Why Do You Run? It was called. Martin wrote that like 10 years ago, it seems like now. And Martin is playing Crew Hosh. It was one of the published lists, the blue Hosh with like boomerangs and coupulations, I'm pretty sure. And I just have to play Grinder PE into it, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm pretty sure Martin would win that game. But Martin went a bit aggressive and started like playing too many cards out of hand. And that deck specifically is a patchwork deck. And so like spending your cards for 2 credits against P kind of matters in the mid to late game. But after that, like Martin was a bit worried because there's some turns that he really dived into the tank and then it feels bad playing to time because early on he was on 3 points and I'm on 0 and I can't really build a remote server because as soon as I spend 7 or 8 credits resing some ice on the remote server, it gets destroyed immediately with Devil Charm Crew. So I'm turtling up. I'm just like feeding garbage. Hannah comes down on turn 1, so he's checking everything pretty efficiently. But it gets to a point where he just runs out of cards, very close, runs out of cards, but he gets decked out and then goes through, I think, 1 labor rights, loses the 2nd labor rights on a big cupulation run. And from that point, it's a bit locked out. It comes close to time and I'm still behind on points. So if he wanted to play slowly, he could have won the game very easily. But it was like an awkward situation. But I think we both agreed that if Martin played like it was a competitive tournament, he would have that for sure. So didn't feel good to play PE into that. Felt like total grinder. Round 3, I'm playing against a deck that was just published. I'm going to go to popular, I think. So Diogen's been going off a bit about Epiphany. Luckily it was the Epiphany a couple days ago, so it made sense. About an Epiphany deck in the Montreal Discord, and I'm not a big fan of this style of deck, and I'm explaining why. And I think this matchup was like the exact showing of why I don't like this sort of deck. And like, I know we've been arguing about it online, so when Diogen sat down, I'm like, okay, I just have to show you what I mean. And so like, I get my Pawn Shop down on turn 1, I get my Parisha down on turn 1, and every turn I'm just wiping the table. This is the sort of issue with this, and like Diogen likes this deck a fair bit, so I don't mean to say it doesn't make sense, but any deck that's just like assets and ice and has no alternate win condition, I find so personally frustrating to play as. Because if your opponent opens with a strong economy and is playing a good deck that knows, and they know what to trash, they don't just let you have the balanced coverage turn after turn. They don't let you have the tiered subscription turn after turn for some reason. This deck can't make money if you just trash all their assets. So I just trashed all the assets. I think definitely Diogen spent 8 credits to score out a 2-pointer on Sansan, and then I'll trash the Sansan. Like, I don't have to trash this. You can res it for 6. I'll trash it for 5. It's fine. And then he scored another Sansan with a, what's it called? A Stoked Embers off the top deck, which is actually way cheaper than I realized it was. It's only like 3 credits to do that, and that one felt kind of bad. But he gets to 4 points, and at that point, he has no board state. I make a big mistake. I burner and I find a degree mill and I put it on top of the deck and I just say, okay, I have my decoder, I have my fractor. I'm just going to run R&D, realizing like this is an NBN deck. What sentry's going to stop me? And it's a drafter. And that's a mess up. I had the shitty Boitata in hand. I could have installed it first, but it's a drafter. So drafter puts down a Spin Doctor and fixes it. And I'm like, I made a huge mistake there. I think that was the worst play mistake I made. I actually made another bad play mistake in the previous game in which a pinhole threading went through. And so I rezzed a Mavirus and basically said, haha, you have to touch the Mavirus now and get purged and do net damage. And so instead, the runner pinhole threading the Crisium grid on R&D that I totally forgot was there. If I didn't res it, probably would have gone for it anyways. I wouldn't have been able to res to do the net damage. The purge was really important, but anyways, this mistake felt worse, and I think it was. So I just had to play a longer game, but you just trash everything, have good money, trash everything. Like if the deck doesn't have Oppo or traps, it's a really hard way to play the game where it's just like, I got ice and upgrades. I think if the deck has more ice, and I don't think a lot of ice showed up in our matchup, I don't think Diogen drew well. Like if you get a Eula on the table, it's actually hard for me to break this every single turn. That's for sure. Like I'm playing Propeller, like it's very expensive. And then the game becomes interesting. But if it's just assets on the table, like there's not much to it. You just get Parisha and you get credits every turn. Like pawn shop or Parisha, you can trash 5 credits worth of stuff a turn and still go forward. Round 3. No, that's round 3. On round 4, I played against John. John is playing some deep dive. Shaper playing some lats. He's got the stone chip chart rooms. Really hard to flatline. And by turn 2, I have like 7 agenda points in hand. It's really, really bad. Except then I realized, wait, he put Hannah down and he's going to deep dive me. He like runs HQ and then he runs R&D click 1 and sees nothing. And then he runs HQ and I'm holding Fuji, Blood in the Water, and I think a 1-pointer. And I'm like, oh shit, he's going to deep dive me. But also, I don't want him to steal the Fuji on turn 2 because that's really bad when you're playing Personal Evolution. When your opponent steals a Fuji in the early game, it's one of the worst things you can do because now they're close to game point, and the closer they are to game point, the less this text matters. Because if they win the game stealing the second Fuji, the text is blank. So I res the Spin Doctor, which is like a weird play, and it should show your opponent that I have agendas in hand. And so the Vampire Nasa that apparently John axes on top of R&D goes into HQ, and he axes that same Vampire Nasa. So 4 out of 7 cards were agendas. He misses there. He runs Archives. And then because I'm holding literally like 9 points of the deck, he goes for the deep dive, cracking Canna, and steals 2 1-pointers, like a Sting and like a Regenesis. I'm like, oh shit, wait, I can survive. Next turn, same thing. He runs R&D, he runs HQ. At this point, I have 4 agendas in hand and 1 non-agenda. He hits the non-agenda and goes for another deep dive with only 1 click left and only finds 1 point. He does 2 deep dives like turn 4 and steals only 3 1-pointers. And that's because I'm holding, again, like 9 points of agendas in hand and he just keeps missing them. And then I'm like, okay, I can win this. And he does get ground down a bit. I get him to a point where the remote server is double Vampire Nasa, and with Euler, he can't break it. I think I sniped 3 simul chips, which he really wanted the simul chips because they're simul chips and they're pretty good with Eulers. And he's also playing Fermenter for economy. If you can't use the Fermenter for economy, you have to play a lot more of your operations, and the more operations you play, the less cards you have in your deck, also because of Anacom. So he gets to a point where he has no cards left over. And it's the second game where I play Grinder, and it feels really, really bad. But like, you just got to do the worst thing on the board state for your opponent, and that was the worst thing to do for my opponent on that board state. Then it's round 5, and lo and behold, playing again, back from a huge tournament. I get to play against Antoine once more. We get to flip it on the other side. It's the last round of a GNK. We played 5 rounds, and Antoine is playing so aggressively, and we're having so much fun. Like running HQ, just running HQ to get some Amaku counters or something like that. Running through, I res what's it called? Anemone, taking the damage. I have a House of Knives that I haul them in fast events out for like 8 credits. And I like, are you sure you want to access? And Antoine's like, yeah, it's fine. So I'm like, I can House of Knives you. He's like, it's fine. And the accessing with like 2 cards in hand against PE, like just taking some dangerous runs, just laughing because at the end of the day, it's just a GNK. We end up taking it there. I think Antoine loses the Kurapira, and I play this horrible grinder of a game where I get every iced server to a point, and I'm a virus in archives. So you can always run archives get purged out, get one Amakua counter, but the only ice that Antoine can't break is unfortunately Tattoo Bola, which you can break at 1 strength. So it becomes this really awkward thing where like I have to purge every 2 or 3 turns to stop the Amakua from having counters, and you can technically run R&D and for like 3 or 4 credits with the Chesva to go through Avant Pranasa, but does not find the points. Could have won on the last turn, but unfortunately a Sting gets too many cards out of hand. And that was a GNK. Played 5 rounds, won 5 rounds. It came in first. It got some cool prize support. So Sai Santans and full art. That's super cursed. That shouldn't exist. And then Carpe Diem's full art, which are quite nice as well. But that was a GNK experience. I think the lat deck, I really wish I played more lat. I played too much P, and every P game I played out came down to like the runner running out of cards, which is not often how it happens. Usually you build some interesting forks, but yeah, sometimes it does end up like that, which feels kind of bad. I own this archetype the same way the ShadowNet owns bad takes. There's more than enough to go around. Very funny. Very funny. Unless Cleaver, yeah, Cleaver deals with Eula really, really well. That's for sure. But Cleaver is also pretty popular. So like Eula is not my favorite. People will face check into Euler, Endless Eula and die in Shinteki, that's for sure. Sorry, in Anarch, that's for sure. This weekend too, we're playing our cube. We're playing ONR for the first time. I'm so excited. I got a cube together. It's like so many cards. I think I checked it. There's only 480 different ONR cards ever printed. The cube has like 450 of them. So it's almost the entirety of the ONR experience, which is really, really sick. And that'll be this weekend. And I am so stoked to play some ONR with a whole bunch of people. I'll let you know how that goes on Tuesday. I'm looking for it. The ONR cube got me very jealous. You want to see how pretty it looks? Got a nice red box now. And it's all sorted and has a nice little rainbow. All the packs are already made and shuffled. And then I'm good to go. I'm so stoked for Saturday. We found 2 cards that weren't in the cube that were missing, was asking around. And Martin's like, I got these 2 cards, so we're swapping them in. It's going to be great. Loan from Chiba to pay my 2nd loan from Chiba to pay my 3rd loan from Chiba. Real beauty. Yeah, it turned out good. I was really frustrated the other night because I was like, I counted the cube and it was like 449 cards, which means something was wrong. And because I have a spreadsheet of every single card that's meant to be in the cube, I had to deconstruct the cube and figure out which, it turns out there was an extra asset for some reason. And then I have to put the cube back together, which means you have to shuffle it. And it turns out the easiest way to count the cube is actually with a coffee scale, because every card is like 2.6 grams. And so you can count it by just like knowing how many cards are in it and weighing the stack and being like, oh, the stack is off by 2 grams. That's the wrong stack. Anyways, pain in the ass, but it's all there, all 448 times 2. Then Arasaka will own you. Or Chiba loans, yeah. Cool Love had a really ridiculous like Chiba loan, getting stuck in a Chiba loan hole and then getting Arasaka survival. All right, let's play some Netrunner. I kind of wanted to play the deck list of the week from 2 weeks ago is this list. This came 3rd at the showdown. I think this is slightly different than the list before, but this is Not Yeti's list and it looks really, really fun. The thing is that it scares me. This list frightens me. And that's because it's kind of showing off a point that I was a bit worried about. I think I even mentioned this on stream like maybe a week ago, is that there's a damn chance that Az's text box is just not as good as playing any other criminal and still playing the Masterwork Chesva engine. There's a damn chance. Now, I don't think it's 100% guaranteed. I think specifically in this deck, Sable makes a lot of sense because you're running your mark on the turn that you are Jeitinhoing. This is technically a Jeitinho deck. You don't have to Jeitinho every single matchup. Some matchups are Jeitinho matchups, some matchups they're not. And you, in theory, can set up really quickly because, again, you're installing your hardware clicklessly off the top of your deck with things like Masterwork from hand, Prognostic from the top rope. This list also does a couple things that I'm realizing I should be opting or kind of cribbing for some of my Az lists. I think we played Az like 2 weeks ago and we realized Alarm Clock's really good because if you make that clickless run on HQ, if it's just like an end the run or whatever it is, that run is a run on central servers, which means you can fire Masterwork. It means you can use your Chesva credits. It means you can Prognostic, and it just gives you functionally 5 clicks a turn. Like with Sable with Alarm Clock, you have 6 clicks a turn, which makes it really easy in some ways to play Jeitinho and go off. Otherwise, though, this deck doesn't have a lot of multi-axis. In fact, it has none. Which, like, that's kind of a result of it being a Masterwork deck. I think it's relatively easy to take a list like this and add in, like, oh, Dockland's Pass. I think that's discussed, or Awaken Plant or something like that. I usually played with, what's it called? Twinning. This list does have a single simul chip, which is cute. means that you can lose a breaker. It means you can return the revolver. That's kind of fine. The environmental testing, I'm not totally sold on. I don't think this card is that much better than a daily cast, but it does cost 2 influence, which is a bit of a bummer. Obviously, hardware charges this, but I don't honestly know if a slightly faster daily cast is that big of a deal for this deck. I might be wrong about that, but testing will tell. But otherwise, the sort of idea with this deck is some matchups you Jeitinho, some matchups you don't. And I think another big thing is 3 Chesvas. I have wanted to play 3 Chesvas. The thing is, Chesva in your opening hand doesn't make a lot of sense, but when your deck has 3 Masterworks and Prognostic, the only way to make these cards super efficient is by having a Chesva and running a central server. And that becomes so much better with Sable when it's a clickless run, let alone, of course, a security testing run, so you gain 2 credits. Notably, this deck is running security testing and not info bounty, because if security testing is on, mind you, you can put it on different servers, so if you have multiple security testings, you don't have to access that server, which means if you're worried that you're going to run a server and steal an agenda or take damage or do any sort of thing that would threaten the Jeitinho plan, you can just say, I'll take 2 credits instead. And that is incredibly valuable when you're like running archives into Thule or running R&D into Thule or running HQ into Thule. You know what I mean, right? So really, really quite cool. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. When you start counting your cards the way drug dealers count their money, you may have a problem. Just maybe. It's a lot of cards. Mr. Lava, when we were playing campaign arcs. Ooh, I really want to do campaign arcs as well. That is Alex, not me. I need to play arcs to know whether I want to play more arcs or any arcs. Let's give this a shot. Let's just get a campaign of arcs going right now. I played 1 game of Oath. It was pretty cool. I haven't played arcs. I don't know if Root is really the thing for me. I think you really need a right play group for Root. I'm worried that arcs will be similar. This is a runner deck. Nyusha Sable Sintashta. What is this called? Master Assassin. Let's go. Did someone say arcs? Kato, how's it going? Campaign is the mask noun for game of arcs. All right, let's go. Corp Runner. Sometimes that's like the captcha that you have to get through to play on JNet. Hey, it's Alex. Also, hi stream. Hey, Kato. Campaign arcs is a glorious narrative experience. Hey, Donia, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I've heard that. I've heard really good stuff. I just want to play like the trick-taking game and see how it works. Ooh, Sports Metal. I'm assuming Sports Metal we won't knife. This deck also is on 3 Diversion of Funds, and it seems really, really great. I think it's much harder to do sports. I think Alex is playing combo sports now, just like we did on Tuesday. That deck was really good too. We have an aggressive opening. Like we have Diversion, we have Diesel, we have Dirty Laundry, Carpe, like whatever. Just touching cards with Sable's fine. I think we can keep this hand. We could also just mulligan into like an engine hand. Like we want to open with a Masterwork, a Prognostic, a Chesva. The best thing about this hand is doof, but like it's actually kind of hard to doof Sports Metal. Like you have to actually be a bit more clever, where it's like, oh, they're on 2 credits. I'll run first to try and get an agenda to goad them to get 2 credits and then doof. I see a lot of times you like end up doofing, then run R&D, and then you steal an agenda. They're up on 5 credits. And it's like, what have you done? I don't know. I heard the New Jersey Netrunners are having a CBI LAN party. Oh, hey, Izzy, how's it going? Why wouldn't we want a knife? I think the game will be over sooner. Tron, how you doing? I'm going to keep this hand. This seems fine. If I was Az, I probably wouldn't keep this hand, but like with Sable, running is a bit easier, and we have 2 good run cards in our hand. I think a CBI LAN party sounds really cool. I think that's a great way to make an online tournament less lonely. Winning without stealing is great. It is. I'm just worried that if Alex is on like Wage Workers combo, he can win by like turn 6. And maybe we just need a mulligan for a hand that can keep up the speed. Arcs has been the only leader game that does anything for me. Why do you think that is, Trenzer? Good time of day, Tron. All right, Alex kept. Iced Up HQ, put some stuff on the table. Let's get a good mark. R&D, that's fine. So I think we're going to start with the Diesel. Okay. So either we Carpe Diem or we Dirty Laundry. I think we should just take the Carpe Diem where it's good, because then we can Dirty Laundry one of these. I'm assuming one of these is a garbage agenda on the table. I'm assuming this has to be combo. I don't think this is going to be like, oops, like Return to Sender. What is it called? Veruca Sports. That's the name people say. Let's find a Rashida. We found 1 Hyperloop. Let's find a second Hyperloop. The powers. Yeah, we have to deal with that on site. I mean, I think we deal with that. So next turn we have Boomerang Doof, which is good. We could draw here. This hand is really good, though. I think we have to draw to win. Shit, okay. Legit, Arcs is one of their best. Oath is awesome, but it takes expansion. But the expansion is going to really make it sing. Arcs hit it out of the box. What's the expansion for Oath? I think the rest of the leader game stuff is way too symmetric for my taste. Yes, I can hear that. I think a lot of us like asymmetry because of the whole Netrunner thing. Archives is the Marchives. We could have kept Dirty Laundry, but we wanted to check. I think if we do Boomerang Doof, it's likely to be impactful. It's just like not a good turn. Like, I think we're going to get 5 credits here. Like, maybe you res a 4 and a 2 and a 2. Oath really needs a consistent group, which I couldn't get people to follow. Huh. Gatekeeper, okay. At least our Boomerang is going to do something. Break up to 2. So we'll see if something is res on the table. Whoa, no res on the table, which means we don't really want to touch these unless it's a Rashida. Because this is what happens. And then you touch these, and then like they're back in the dough. I think we need a draw. I think we kept a bad hand. This deck does not have... This is the wrong deck. This deck has Class Act, right? It has 3. Of course it does. You're not as, though. I'm going to just assume that one of these is not a Rashida. Apparently not. It's called New Foundations. They just recently ran a Kickstarter for it. It updates a bunch of new core games and adds a bunch of cool new things. It's like 1.5 update rather than content expansion. Oh, super cool. Do you think it's better for more casual players, for players who are more, integrated? On that note, I just got the expansion to Radlands. I don't know if I got the synth expansion because I have the synth base game, and it comes with 2 promo cards. 2 of them are printed in synth. 2 of them are printed in cardboard. I can't tell which one is which. Does anyone else have the problem? I guess we start with this because it draws a card. Okay. This feels a bit slow. I think we can get the sec testing down and hope it's a clickless 2 credits on any other turn. So I think we just draw once. Okay, that's good. We can always install this, but we want a Chesva. Yeah, this hand was not good. It's just not enough draw. Too much running. 2 little eyes. On 2, we can't really score out, so this seems fine. We're assuming server 3 is an agenda, though, because if it was anything else, I'm assuming Arzon would have considered ducking it off the diversion. Right? Hey, Axu. Only run. Please give us a good old Archives mark, or Alex doesn't click for credit. Subliminal, okay. Click for 2 credits, okay. The monkey's paw. Choose a server. I guess it's Archives. It's a click for 2. It's like fine. On 4 credits, we could go for the Doof. We actually might just go for the Bravado Boomerang. We have to click for credit first, which sucks. But this is our mark, so it's okay, I think. I think the Diversion of Fun is less impactful. If we do Diversion, we get a click back, and we force Alex to res his garbage. If that's the case, we can go for an access. But I think we want to get our credits first and then do the Doof. That's my guess, right? Like if the Diversion of Funds fails, we're actually pretty far behind. That being said, we don't have to click for credit. So Masterwork, you can install it for a credit, so it's like saves you a click. This is the knife deck, yeah. Oh no, then we can't install it. Yeah, maybe we should just go for the diversion. We know we can't duck on this. This draws a card. Oh, we'd have to run Archives, then clicking for credit also. So I'm glad we didn't do that. Oh, we have a knife. I guess we doof. Maybe then it'll be easy to set up for first knife. See, this doesn't break. Run Archives. Yeah, we shouldn't have clicked for credit with Archives open. Wage Workers, that makes sense. I think we still go for the diversion though. So now we can Bravado R&D. We can get a knife in this turn. Yeah, we can get a knife in, which is why this deck is as cool as it is. Then we run R&D. Then we install the knife. It is pretty sick, isn't it? Unfortunately, we give Arzon exactly 2 credits, which is what we wanted not to do. This is why we should have maybe sec tested R&D so we don't touch cards. But we're 1/3 to an assassination, and unfortunately is a Rashida. So our third diversion is somewhere. We didn't discard it, did we? We did discard it. Shit. Okay. So money's now going to be contested. Remember to put the boomer back? Oh, we don't have to because we didn't hit break all. We did break 2. New Foundations is more objective for people to latch onto in a single game, but you still need to be interested in the fact that this game that evolves and that arc is what makes it cool. Cool. Actually, I don't think it's fixed, but if you don't break all, if you just break 2 subroutines, it should work. Okay, so Alex can score out a 5-3 here easily. So we should probably contest. Jesus. Okay. Get a good mark. R&D is fine. I mean, I guess we bravado this. Just force a res. If it's drafter, it's pretty bad. I guess we could have got a revolver down first. It's too late. It's pretty bad if it's drafter. Ablative. Okay, we're on threat. Again, the Vitruvius was bad for us, it turns out. So we'll see what hits the table. If it's a Rashida, we can just like run it down. It has to go into a different server. It's a Tranquility. Okay, that's bad, but we can't really deal with that. We bounce off this. So I think the most important thing here is to deal with the wage workers. Scrub, are you playing any Marvel Snap? I've kind of fallen off. I think Acquisition's gotten too hard. I know they're trying to make it better, but I haven't played in a while. How's it been? I don't think a lot of people in our league are playing. So we probably should take on the wage workers. I think that's the most important card here. So we can draw once. Oh, that's a tension. But I think the wage workers, we lose to it. I don't know if there's a chance that Alex will put a second wage workers on the table, but not having this is important because this opens up a bunch of combo lines. I took a break from early 24 about a month, but now I got it back and I'm rank 82 right now. Yo, let's go. I found with that game until they fix acquisition. Like if you take some time off, you were like really far behind. It's like getting cards is impossible. It's both really expensive and really difficult. I don't know. I haven't paid for Steven passes. Oh, Byron Work Crew. Sick. So I think there's another wage workers on the table. Hyperloop. Okay, that's cool. I've been really bad about not taking alliance missions. Oh no, Radish. They help you. They help everyone. You should do it. In theory. Okay, so we don't know what 3, 8, or 9 are. 10 is Tranquility, which is whatever. I think we just take turn off here and draw. So draw. Draw. Until we have Chesva, this doesn't make a lot of sense. This Dirty Laundry is like run archives, gain 5. It's good. It's not clickless, but it's good. I think we just need to draw. Okay. So next turn we can do Chesva. Yeah, okay. Still no knives. This deck isn't on the guy who draws 1 knife, which I'm not surprised. Oh, Subliminal goes back, actually. That's probably worth running. I forgot the Subliminal is in play. I think with both Byroid Work Crew and with Wage Workers, it's actually worth just like Dirty Laundering Archives because it's 5 credits and you turn off Subliminal. Subliminal is really, really good in this deck. Even like with Sudden Commandment, Subliminal is really good. Okay, another Spin Doctor somewhere. Okay, we knew that couldn't have been a res card that cost money. So now we know that. So here we can have some lines. We can do Prognostic Chesva, run archives, install a Boomerang here. We want Sable in archive so bad. Fuck. All right. So put this on archives, which means we could do Chesva. We probably don't have clicks for Prognostic. I think we just do Chesva, Dirty Laundry archives, use the Chesva credits, install the Boomerang on server 10, run server 10. Like, probably not the Poison Vial. I just don't see how this does enough. Maybe I'm... Nah, this is a fast matchup. So now we can run this server. And then we might actually just cycle another class act. Install another thing here for 1. I don't... Maybe. Yeah, probably. Nah, it's fine. We'd rather do it with Chesva. It's a Gatekeeper. Okay, we'll Boomerang that. We can still deal here with Managarm if it's rezzed. Arella. Probably need to trash Arella. We'll take the Mega Pre. We're on 4. Alex still has the ability. Like, we have to trash one of these. I'm going to hope not to. We don't have Miss Bones. We probably should be trashing these. So with 6 credits, we can just get a Revolver down. We've seen Gatekeeper Ablative. So the deck is on another Ablative, another Gatekeeper, and then like Drafters. I have seen more Byron worker in the last week than I have in the past 2 years playing this game. I don't know if it was me. I know I played it and it was like kind of hella good. Let's just play the revolver. I don't know if it's my fault, but like that card's really good. Like with red level, with subliminal, there's so many triggers, ways to trigger it. Should make knife a -1 point agenda so you don't win before you get knife. Yeah, the deck should have 2 Aquas in it, so we could just like win. The problem is like the Spin Doctor is uncontested on the table. Ooh, sudden commandment into subliminal. Like this is gonna be really good, and Arella's gonna fire this turn. Yeah. It's expensive, but the Tranquility, we actually probably should have dealt with the Tranquility. I think money's rate limiting. We'll see how bad this can be for us though. Okay. At least there's not a lot of money here unless it's a Hyperloop. That's fine. Alex will have no money. 2 credits. So that means we can face check R&D. Ooh, cool. That's interesting. So we'll do Sable, Archives, nice. So I think we just run and install the Prognostic to get the double draw first. We always are going to do this because it's clickless. So this is why I like the engine so good. Oh, these are terrible though. Why wouldn't you put this in server 10? This has to be like a wage workers. So that's clickless. Probably should have got the environmental testing down first. Let's be honest. Maybe this is on me. The environmental testing we could have put down besides the revolver and we would have been halfway too. Okay, maybe the reason why it feels bad is because I'm bad. No, the kids are wrong, not me. I'm kind of fine doing classic credit, and just setting up a knife in 2 turns. Okay, almost. We could in theory knife in 2 turns. Because we're going to see like at least 4 more cards before the game's over. But yeah, I do see here the environmental testing is probably worth working into. I don't know what Alex can do here unless server 7's a Rashida. But I don't know why you wouldn't put that in server 10. So this has to be something that's not like going to be around for a while. So like wage workers. Okay, sudden commandment goes back. Only sudden commandment. Spin Doctor in server 8. So on 2 credits, I don't know what Alex can do here. If we look at the combo pieces, we're going to run every single dang turn because of subliminal. If Alex is playing the list we played on Tuesday, is like 2 Byron work crew. I don't think our list was optimal. It's a Tranquility. Okay, that makes sense. So now there's a lot of money every turn. And now you can play like a weird keep away game. Look at our hand. We have no way of dealing with this. Our deck has 3 boomerangs and 19. Please an archives mark. Please an archives mark. Dang it. Okay, it doesn't matter. We'll still run archives. So I think now it's maybe too late for environmental testing. Is it too late? It might be too late. Alex can win in, I think, 2 turns as well. Okay, so we run archives to get the Jeitinho down clicklessly and draw a card. This is fine. So we'll do Masterwork first because we're going to draw a card. Alarm Clock Paladin. Alarm Clock seems better. With Sable and Alarm Clock, you actually can double click HQ and still get a knife off. Top 2 cards is Boomerang Diesel. Okay, that's really good. That means we can run HQ this turn and we can get the knife off. Right? We in theory can knife most servers, but we can Carpe Diem HQ. And then we can like Chesva, Carpe Diem HQ. Oh, we can run R&D and hope. I think that might be fine if we force Alex to res ice on R&D. So we can just run R&D and then like pay 3 off the top deck to get a run. That might be fine. Oh, we definitely should have gone for the environmental test. Sorry, a year ago. It would have fired and we would have been good. It's actually like exactly the 6 credits we need. Okay, so we're going to go R&D here and see whether Alex reses or not. If it's a drafter, you probably don't res. And if you don't res here, we can boomerang from hand if it's resed. Between 2 knives, boomerangs, and maybe a second Chesva, you'll probably fire. I think it would have. So if this is a Gatekeeper, it's a pretty interesting res proposition. Yeah, we should have gone down 2 turns ago, though. At this point, like, we're like getting deeper and deeper into sunk cost fallacy. So I'll definitely not install it. We should just discard it so we cannot feel bad about it anymore. But we definitely would have fired. It is an ablative. Okay, fascinating. So at least here, the servers are in use. So that's a Rashida on top of that card. Okay, that's good. So if we want to get through this, we have to prognostic from the top of the deck, which means we can't run HQ. So we could cut our losses here and then run the Rashida in server 10. That actually might be a bit better for us. So ablative, gatekeeper. So this is there's like 2 drafters in the list, 1 ablative, 1 gatekeeper. I forgot what the ratio is, but again, Alex could be doing his own thing. The top of the deck is Boomerang into Diesel. So we probably prognostic on Alex's turn. Ugly. Very ugly. This is a good matchup for security testing. Get out of here. Yeah, we messed up. That's bad. We could use 6 more credits. We actually don't have that much more money in the deck. So Rashida, Alex has a lot of cards in hand, has enough money. I think server 7 is definitely a wage workers or a buyer at work crew. Yeah, honestly, installing this environmental testing was a big, we should have just believed in it. Because the difference between being on 4 and 10 on this board state is a big difference. It's a lot of money. And we're now at the point with Cheswas that we install every single hardware for free. Now, we did throw this out in a masterwork, and some of that was just to feel better, but another part of that was because you can actually install your masterwork to like do the cycle. So the problem is like Alex wins in 2 turns, like score a 2-pointer, score a 2-pointer. There are even turns that Alex can build that he can score 4 points in a single turn, no problem. If that's the case, we need to deal with wage workers. So I don't think we can knife fast enough. Ooh, that's really good. That's really, really good. So either we can, I think I'm just going to go for it. Install the boomerang, draws the diesels, and then we can put this on. I think you don't install the corp turn. The Cheswa credits are useful. We're still going to get them. Like, no matter what, we're going to get back with Carpe Diem is the way that I see it. This gets us low, but at least we have Carpe Diem sec testing to get back. So I think we should either contest this or this. I think actually we should play better Netrunner and contest server 10 and just forget about the fact that we're this kind of deck. Like, we should forget the knife. So we'll take clicks. We'll do Sable's Mark. Huh? Wait, how does this work? How does Sable's work with this? Let's get the Sable Mark first, I guess. R&D, that's a huge bummer. We have 1 Kurapira. Always mark before alarm clock. But will it fire the mark from last turn or no? If you haven't got it. I don't think it does, because it says the first time you make a successful run on the mark. Yeah. Oh, you'll shut down the mark if you mark it after. Oh, because you've already ran it successfully. That makes sense. So we can force a res here. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So we won't alarm clock. But we'll put our archives. So we can Carpe Diem just to install something and draw. I think that's fine. So Carpe Diem R&D. We'll do the masterwork first, so we can use the Cheswa credits to install whatever, a poison vial. That'll draw us, a boomerang and a bravado. I can't tell what's more important here. I think we're going to take the bravado. We're going to bravado this server because we're going to run archives, go up to 6 credits, and we'll bravado this. And we're assuming the only thing we can break here is a drafter, so we only need 2 credits. In theory, we should maybe click for a credit in case this is a Ikua. Jeitinho Masterwork. Oh, shit. Oh, we can combo out in 2 turns, maybe. So we're going to bounce that. We'll run archives. So now in 6. So if we bravado, we're actually exactly short of dealing with Ikua. So I think we can't afford to bravado server 10. We haven't found programs. We need a Kurapira. We need a Carmen. I mean, Cat's Cradle, I think. I think we just run server 10 here. I don't think we bravado. If we bravado, we can't deal with Ikwa. We're assuming this to be a drafter, which we break for 2, and then we break Gatekeeper with Boomerang, which will shuffle the deck. That's fine. And then we'll have Ikwa credits, because I think an Ikwa push here actually makes sense for Alex's board state. Yeah, no further. So it has to be a drafter, I think. So we can decide not to shuffle the deck. I think we're fine with shuffling it. Oh, Rashida, shit. Okay. Huh. Okay. Do we think the agenda is 11? 11 is if it's a wage workers, we have to deal with it. I don't think there's a way around it. We have to deal with Byroad Work Crew wage workers. There's another Rashida. Oh, wild. Okay. What is Alex's hand? Maybe Alex's hand is garbage. He has the Spin Doctor. For what he's worth, like, he knows we're never going to run archives, so he can just keep agendas in archives because sec testing doesn't access. Oh, fast break. That's bad. I forgot that was in the deck. I don't think we popped off with this, but this can really pop off. That's for sure. I think the deck only has 7 ice if it's the version that we built on Tuesday. So can we knife in 2 turns? Without breakers is really, really hard. And thus the knife betrays. Yes. The knife made the fast break. For what it's worth, like, we should have got the second sec testing down sooner, just so we never want to access cards from R&D. Maybe on this board state, because we're on 4 agenda points, we just want to run HQ and find an Ikoa. Like, that also wins. This doesn't work because Alex didn't do triple install. I think he just realized that. Yeah, that's a mistake. Yeah. Yeah, oof. Because you play operation, click 1, not install. So this wage workers, there's no way to fire it this turn. I've done that before. Because you think you installed a bunch of cards, but you didn't. You did operation install. And now it sucks because we know what this is. This is actually probably still worth considering trashing. I think the best case scenario here is, well, we want to bravado R&D probably. Oh, going for the triple operation. But wait, no, you waged. Oh, I didn't realize wage workers is not in a row. Wait, I thought wage workers in a row. You just have to do 3 operations. Hold on, he's popping off. So now he can 4 advance an agenda. So this list is different. It has Bass in it. The F is going on? Score an Elevigao? Oh my God, that's revolting. That is disgusting. Did you see what happened? That's like a 9-click turn. D-Res Spin Doctor, of course. So we almost guaranteed lose next turn. Because Sudden Commandment gives enough clicks. Wage workers we have to deal with. We don't know what server 9 is. Like, we have to trash wage workers. We don't know the server 10. Server 10 was face down. That's just absolutely disgusting. So we, in theory, could like Jeitinho off the top of the deck. So at a minimum, we have to trash the wage workers or we lose. We're so slow somehow, but I think I play this terribly. So we'll do... We have to win by not killing. Did wage workers trigger twice? Yeah, triggered off of double operation, triple operation, and triggered off triple install. Very, very good. Cool. Yeah, it's allowed to do that. It just cares the first time you do. So triple advancement, it'll fire, triple install, it'll fire, triple operation. As long as you finish taking a type of action 3 times, it can fire. It's pretty absurd. R&D again. Okay. We have to hit an Ikwa and win. So this is likely to be, but we can't break the gatekeeper. Okay, so we're gonna run archives. We're gonna flick the knife. I feel like wage workers is better than Jeeves on its wording alone. Yes, I think so too. I think so. Very much so. So we can either diesel. I think we're gonna diesel anyways, because we need to find a car or Kurapira. Okay, Boomerang in hand is perfect. Mystic is too late. So now we can Bravado R&D and just find a Nikua. If we do this, we'll have 1 credit plus 4. We install the Boomerang. I'm just going to run Archives first because I can't do the math. You have a knife installed? Yeah, I know. I just want to over-install it to draw because we're not going to win by the 3 knives. I just want to get rid of this. Like, it would have flicked off the top of the deck. But we shuffled, actually. There was no knife on top. That was actually a pretty big mistake. So we'll do Masterwork. Yes. Boomerang. Can't find breakers. 1, 2, 3. Whatever. These poison vials don't feel good in this matchup. Top 2 of the stack is Masterwork into Prognostic, so that's a bummer. Gain 2 credits. So we'll Bravado R&D and Shuffle because we don't want to draw those cards. Install a hardware. No, we have no interest. Just find an Ikua and win. Break. Hyperloop. Okay. We can find a 2-pointer and win. Yeah, we'll shuffle. Alex drew. So the issue is like running HQ. We actually can do HQ run last click. We have a couple options. Okay, so our options are deal with the wage workers. We don't know what server 9 is. We don't know what server 7 is. If there's another wage workers on the table, we're in a bad spot. We can find another 2-pointer and win. We can also find, in theory, an Ikua and win. Believe that Boomerang got shuffled on top. It's not the worst chance. Like, we can just hit the Prognostic button and hope. But our question is whether we want to run HQ and see 2 cards. We'd have to Boomerang this and hope that this is the drafter, which is the most likely ice for it to be, is the drafter, which is fine. We break it for 2. Or we deal with the wage workers, or we challenge server 10. I think I'm just going to hit Prognostic and hope here. It's a Carpe Diem piss. Okay, it's not good. All right. So if that's the case, I think we just diesel and run server 12. That's the best we have. Okay, we found a breaker. Do we want to install a hardware? We have no interest. All right, we probably still lose this turn, but maybe we don't. Keeping a hardware in hand is actually better than this Chesva, I think. No, sec testing is probably the worst. Because we can always like install this for free to draw a card. Inspired Work Crew. Okay. So does Alex score 3 points this turn? The fact that you can use Byron Work Crew to quickly install like a wage workers is kind of cool. Yeah. Oh, now we're cooked. Get out. It was on the table. Wow. Wow. GG. I couldn't find a breaker. I don't know that was on the table. That's a huge surprise. I'm not sure why that ended up on the table. Like, why was that on the table? The other Ikua was in hand. Okay, yeah. We had to like exactly top rope and then hope this is a drafter. Server 10 was a Vitruvius? Oh, sick. Okay, wow. We could have just ran anything. Yeah, so unres are drafters. So if we just found a breaker there or a boomerang, we would have either ran the Gatekeeper or ran HQ. HQ was a 1 and 4. Server 10 was a 3-2. Yeah. I just throw stuff on the table of sports because why not? I want to throw an Ikua when we're up on 3 points that early. Like that was when we were on 3 points. Maybe it was better for us to like consider checking server 9 and then checking this server to be like, we have to deal with multiple wage workers. Top of our idea was bifurcation. Yeah, we just couldn't find our breakers. I think if we had 6 more credits, it would have helped a bit. But I also think, I don't know if I actually think stealing the Vitruvius was good for us. The 1 extra counter on fast break doesn't matter. Oh, cool. I just couldn't run any ice anymore. 3 boomerangs in deck. Just drew a decoder last turn. Yeah, like we drew a lot. And also we shuffled a fair bit. So like that's the problem with shuffling as much as Class Act kind of undoes Class Act. But we just couldn't find our breakers. Against the knife, I could see being more reckless with stuff on the board. Well, you sort of can't, because like if we don't deal with Alex's stuff and trash rate stuff, Alex wins faster than we knife, I think. We don't miss bones, so we have to trash only the right stuff. But I don't know. I wonder if I think when we're on 5 points, we should probably not worry about knife. If we had breakers, we could go for knife because we could have knifed in 2 turns. I just want them for murder. I was 1 off of murder, I think. Yeah, we could have gone for murder. We just couldn't get through an ablative. Yeah. Yeah, equal on the table is wild. I did not expect that. The clickless installing the wage workers while firing wage workers is like really, really cool. Yeah. Yeah, wage workers you need to trash. Again, that's the sort of thing where it's like 6 turns, I got 36 clicks. Like half of that is wage workers. Like you saw the wage workers turn. It bought Alex like 3 free clicks easily. I meant as the corp, if the knife, you can risk them not running stuff as their focus is elsewhere. Oh, on the table, yes. Yeah, yeah. And in sports metal, like it's kind of likely that they'll put like hyperloops on the table, so we're less likely to check. Yeah. I see that. Yeah, so the idea is that when the powers that be fired, there was a wage workers that was shuffled back into the deck, so Alex lost that. I think the one turn I didn't run archives and you got back subliminal was a pretty substantial mistake, I think. Yeah, giving back the subliminal actually matters for combos. Like we should have ran every single turn. The one turn we took off and didn't run archives to get 2 credits was like definitely not worth it. Yeah, yeah. I think Alex saw that too. We should always deal with subliminal in this matchup. It's easy to run every single turn, and we have a reason to run every single turn. We have sec testing, so we should be running every turn. Cool. I want to play this deck again for sure. We got a bit unlucky on our marks, but we just need to get the die that rolls archives a lot. Thanks for the game. It's a cool list. It is a cool list. It doesn't have multi-X's though, but that's the knife problem, right? Like it's go for the knife. And I think this is actually maybe one of the very few knife decks that I actually, like, I'd feel okay playing. I'm not a big knife gamer because it just kind of feels like you're not playing Netrunner. Like you're going out of the way to not play Netrunner. This just is such a like goofy engine deck that it does feel like playing Netrunner. Is wild I drew that much ice? Yeah, Alex, I think you drew, I'm assuming you're on like 7 ice, right? Good game. Outfit, cool. It's another deck that can go really, really fast. It was like 7 out of the 9 ice. I think you got 5 out of 7. Were you on 9 ice? 2, 3, 4. You're at 6 maybe? Hey, Harp. Best of luck. Have fun. All right. The cool thing is like boomerangs go pretty far against outfit. There's a lot of 6 strength ice. Also, bad publicity works really well with Chesva engines. Now, this hand is like a very sleepy hand, but we can definitely take it. Hopefully, dirty laundry our mark, get down a class act, paladin, and just click for credits and then don't draw. It's like pretty quintessential setup turn. And then the less we run and the less we interact, the harder it is for outfit to get a 4 bad publicity, which is the big tipping point. So we'll keep that in mind. Harp mulligan too, so we're happy with this hand. You're on 8 at the moment. Okay. Let's see if it's just hostile. Okay, Harp, she goes for a mulligan, opens with Spin Doctor. That's usually, you know, pretty good for the runner. It was the 2-bladed, 2 gatekeeper, 2 drafter, so 6 out of the 8. How do you like the deck? I played a bit on Tuesday. I didn't have, I played more work crew than Byroid, than Bass. But I'm imagining there's somewhere in the middle that makes sense. So it looks like we probably get our mark this turn. 1 in 3 chance we don't, because she can only ice up 1 thing. It might be on a punitive list. If that's the case, like, we're not going to have a lot of money. Okay, so roll, not HQ. Okay, can't be too upset. Honestly, I don't know if we have to do this. We just need money. This is clickless money. It's okay, not great, but a ton of fun. But sometimes it's exactly the sort of deck you want to bring to a GNK. Okay, not great, ton of fun. Okay, doofing outfit can be pretty rough, so I don't think we need 2. Boomerang is really good because we can land the doof. We really wanted a masterwork there or prognostic because every run we have at least 1 bad publicity. So we're basically as. We functionally have become as on turn 1. We'll see how quickly she respects R&D. We also want to get a program down, like a sacrificial program at a minimum, just so we can interact with SDSs, which we're assuming either that she's on the CityWorks version or she's on SDS version. CityWorks will be the punitive version. SDS will just be like, maybe actually instead you could play Basalt, but the sort of like big deal kind of lists. As with a free click, what a power. Yeah, sometimes a free click. I can't tell. There's a chance. Like it is notable that I feel that the hardware installs are very much more expensive. Like you can feel that they feel more expensive. Obviously they are, but that's where like the 3 Chesva really helps. As soon as you get a Chesva down, you're like, you're fine. All right, Rashida, I don't know. R&D is the mark. Okay, I think we'll just do Chesva so we can steal SDS, and then we'll dirty laundry. Early Paladin, can't feel bad about that. But this is just so that we can steal SDS. We have the Chesva cards of trash, okay. No surprise there. I think we'll check server 2. We actually could get a knife in this turn. No, we can't. Almost. Second Spin Doctor would be kind of weird. Forces her to chase her first one down. Okay, it looks like it is. This one with bad publicity will definitely trash. So she shuffles back the Spin Doctor and probably the hedge fund. Oh, Winter the Too Big to Fail. I wonder if she's ever going to be on fewer credits. We can go back for R&D for a single. We've already drawn this turn, right? No, we haven't. Okay. Kurapir is important for border control, but we want to avoid installing it because of the threat of Trebuchet. So I think we'll take that. And then from here, I think we can just run R&D for a single. If we find a 3-pointer, we'd probably die to double punitive. We want to be a bit safe here. We shouldn't steal 3 more points this turn. Stealing 3 points on 7 to 19 is probably not great for us. I'll just click for credit. We also could have installed the knife that turn just so we could set up the first knife. At this point that she's drawn, 3 more cards now, she likely will be able to ice up R&D and even archives eventually. I think icing up all 3 central servers before you build the remote really makes this deck struggle. And then if you just like don't res into the boomerang dice and we lose a boomerang, we're in a really bad spot. We don't want to install the Kurapir because then again, Trebuchet and Winchester and all that sort of nonsense. I wonder if we're going to get like surprised by, we have until we get a revolver, a really hard time dealing with hammers. Huh. This deck looks so fun. It's really cool. Oh, she's leaving centrals open. So here she needs 2 ice to feel really comfortable because you know that we're on boomerang. If we lose a boomerang to a board control, I don't think we're that upset about it. So we probably just here run R&D. Oh, I think we have a masterwork. We don't. I want to use the Chesva credits and install the boomerang. But we like boomerang bravado is a nice start. It leaves us with 4 credits with bad publicity, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. We don't really need the archives around here. All right, R&D is the mark. So this is probably a Rashida or a wall-to-wall. I don't expect it to be an agenda. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So we're not too incentivized to run it. I don't know what the read is on Harp, if this is anything valuable. We'll draw once. Okay, that's really good. Now if we do masterwork, run archives, we can install the boomerang and then run server 3. That's only sort of convoluted cheaper. It doesn't beat border control though. Let's just see what happens. Okay. So now we can run archives. It's not our mark, but we can run archives to install the boomerang. It technically is a click for 2 credits. I'm not sure we need a click for 2 credit button here. Oh, but it's better than just installing it. Why not? So we can use bad publicity and the Chesva, put it here, breach server. So we get owned by Snare. We really need a revolver just so we can start face checking because I don't care about Valenchow. I do care about other stuff. Oh yeah, this is only a click for 2 credits. It's fine. We probably should have just actually like ran this and not ran archives because we'd rather have a click to deal with border control if it trades. Yeah, that's pretty bad for us. We made a mistake here. We shouldn't have ran archives. I forgot we could just install this with the masterwork. That feels bad. I'm assuming she'll trade this. If she trades this early, trading a boomerang for board control, if she gets a Rashida, that's probably what this is. Yeah, that's a misplay on our part. Feels bad. You also get 1 fewer credit because of bravado. I don't know if we feel terrible about trading that, but boomerangs go really far in this matchup. That's just a mistake on our end. We could have had 2 fewer credits and put her in an awkward position. Maybe she's okay. Maybe we're okay with her getting a board control down this soon. Our engine's good though, but losing a boomerang sucks. So ideally we draw into a revolver or into a diesel, which draws into a revolver, and then we can start face checking. At least it's not Ob. Yeah, if it was Ob, we definitely wouldn't have risked that last click. That would have been terrible. She can get anything on the table. An outfit, it's like, okay, whatever. She's also only on 1 bad publicity, so like stealing the early hostile really does slow her down. And if we don't face check into ice, which we did, she can't get to 4 bad publicity, which is the big breaking point. So the turning point. So again, if it's a single ice, like I don't know, maybe that means it has to be border control because she wouldn't push out single ice into boomerang deck. But maybe she also doesn't know that we're boomerang deck. Like now that you see the masterwork, probably think we're boomerang deck. But like it's not like as against as, I wouldn't score out behind a single ice. Upgrade. Alapert, Tucana. I think Tucana's most likely. We don't have pinholes, do we? Nah. How many diesels? We have full diesels, right? Sick. She owes us a card. We love an archives mark because we can just install Jeitinho clicklessly, draw a card like entirely clicklessly. The mark really matters in this board state. This is what's going to be frustrating. I'll play as, I'll be consistent. I play Sable, some board states I won't have an identity. I wonder if that's actually going to be like the emotional issue that decides if whether I want to play Sable or as. On this board state, the mark really matters, and 1 1/3 is not great. Dang it. Let's draw. Second masterwork. Okay. So we could just face check. If it is a trebuchet, what do we lose? Let's just continue to set up. So if we run archives, it's just drawing a card. It's kind of useless. We can install the Jeitinho that draws a card and gets credit. Yeah, let's just run archives. We shouldn't have used all the Cheswo. We could have used Bad Pub. It's fine though. We're not going to use the Cheswo this turn, then we'll just install Class Act. We got 2 breakers. We don't have the revolver, which is the most important. She threw out a Rashida, so whatever's in this remote server is better than Rashida or is a Rashida. That also means she's probably flooded. So we just need to get a bit more brave and or find a revolver and a boomerang, and we found both of them. We're also going to definitely play the Envid testing. Let's see what she does here. Above the law would be okay. We played 2 Class X, which we can't actually tell if it's a punitive list. If it's a punitive list, keeping Class X for the right board state is actually kind of important. I'm not sure if we're going to do boomerang into diversion. We might actually want to like revolver face check, and then once she reses, go to the boomerang, because we lose our second boomerang, we're actually in a pretty bad spot. Whoa, hedge fund. Trojan horse. Sorry, we touched a card. I guess we lose something. Oh, that's fine. I really hate this card. Like, what are you meant to do about it? Not play? Like, just not interact? This just doesn't seem healthy. This is fine. Like, losing a Chesva is totally okay. I think she has an agenda in server 4. Maybe it's an SDS. Cringe horse. HQ is the mark. Okay, so we want to get the mark off. I'm assuming if we install the boomerang, she'll be incentivized to res. So I'm just going to diversion, and then we can just trick the thing out. If she doesn't res, that's not good for us. Oh, we could have installed another Chesva first. That actually might have been better. We'll take the prog. Do you want to be testing? Oh, sorry. Sorry. I promised. Yeah, you're right. 100% you're right. Yeah, we probably should. Thank you. I got tilted by the Trojan horse and I totally forgot about our game plan. Okay, all good. So it's a border control. It's okay. She'll have an open HQ. This diversion is more to force her to res, but actually maybe you don't res into diversion. I don't know what her mode server is. Maybe she wants to hold off and not score an above the law. Ooh, sandstone. Okay. Not what I expected. That's interesting. It's good to work on that. I think we take the credits here. We kind of need them. We get the click back, which is sick. Yeah, we get the click back. So we can, in theory, start running things. She's on 9 credits. That's terrible for us. Not that she can maybe res and duck, but it means that she can too big to fail, which she shuffled back. Like, we don't love that. So we can here do Chesva, run archives, install prognostic. I mean, sure. Oh, and during the run, we also could have used the Cheswa credit to install. Probably worth it. We need to get a revolver down next, and luckily it'll be like a plus many credit install. This environment testing's sick. It's actually really, really good. Thanks for reminding me to install it. Too Big to Feel is really good for Harp. She scores out to trash another Chesva like we don't care. I don't know what she can score out. We do need to check this sooner than later. I'm assuming it's a Tucana, but I don't know why she hasn't pushed. The fact that she like spitefully took the Chesva down makes me worry it's an SDS, and she wants the SDSs to connect with more important cards. We do have a Simul Chip. That's a lot faster than cast. Yeah, that's a lot faster than casts. That was probably one turn if we really put our mind to it. I can't still tell if that's good though. Like, is 6 credits for 1 install good? For 2 influence? It's like, probably? That's a ridiculous sentence to say aloud. Yeah, of course. Do you think we get the knife this game? We just wasted the Chesva credit. You paid 1 of the 2 costs to do the masterwork. Bad publicity, Crowr. I think we bad pub did. I don't think we paid for it. Yeah, we had bad publicity, so it was free. Yeah. Yeah, the outfit matchup's great. For that reason. She's a weird spot here. Like, I don't know, maybe it's an Eminent, but she probably would have scored that and not like spitefully trashed a Chesva for like 8 credits. Like, she boosted into that thing. She really didn't want the Chesva around. It's just coffee. So we just get Revolver and we start face checking. Cat's Cradle is like not great at anything, but particularly at breaking Klevetnik. Not Klevetnik, the other one, Valenchow. I feel like I haven't seen Valenchow in a long time. Now without Reality Plus, like, I'm very thankful, but the exploration of importing like the weird tag-based sentries out of faction, you're gonna see that, Les. Ping it to Valenchow is just a dream. It is a Tucana to a score. Let's see if it's an above the law or an eminent. Don't hold on. Oh, okay. Thank God. If it wasn't above the law, we probably should have just like prognostic first. So it's just an Atlas with a Tucana, which like we could have chased that down. I probably guessing she's getting a Winchester for HQ, which we have to poison vial that mostly. Oh, border control for HQ. Cool. Again, border control is good against Jeitinho, but now we just crush the Tucana and we start locking R&D, I think. I don't think we need to prognostic here. Mark is HQ. Come on, really? Really? So Kurapira deals with border control for free with Chesva, and then Sandstone is going to be 4 strength, which is a bit of money. I think we go for HQ here if she iced up HQ. And then we can threaten. Like, we want to run that early to threaten. Yeah, this feels like an overextension, but also we get a lot of money. Oh, this is cheap too. Issue here is that we don't have a hardware in hand. I'm just going to install the mass. No, I'm just not going to. I'm going to use the Chesva. Run on HQ, yeah. So we'll do the prognostic first. Top of the stack is Boomerang into Carpe Diem. Okay, that's really good. Boomerang into Carpe Diem. I don't want to Boomerang the Sandstone because then she might use the border control and we're down another Boomerang. So we'll break this. Lock R&D in a knife deck. You know how I play. We definitely want to do the Tucana because Hostile Tucana is pretty good. This will get the Kurapira pretty far. And now, like, she's threatened to pop the border control or we get the first knife. Like, the second Chesva would have been really, really quite good. Like, I don't know if spending 8 to trash it was right, but, like, we really do miss it. So maybe she's onto something. You want to be able to be career counters? Yeah, this is good for us. There should be an agenda in hand. Let's see if she border controls. If she just has a Sandstone, like, okay, so she can't, basically she can't get knifed this turn. Kind of, but now we break this really, really easily. So if we go back, this will be 3 strength. So we break it for 2 credits. Apparently the access matters, and we get a click back. So why not? We get the Kurapira, we get the click back. I wish we had a run event. We should deal with the Tucana. We should find an agenda in here for sure. A pivot. I don't think she's on punitive. I'm not going to trash that. She shouldn't be able to res here. This will draw the Boomerang. I don't think we're in a rush. It was Boomerang into Boomerang into Carpe Diem. Okay, we should draw. She has pivot too big to fail. Oh shit, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but then it's 2 clicks because we're not on threat. So I think I'm okay with that. So we can run R&D and then we can get the Masterwork down, which draws a card. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good. I'm always worried to install it. Into Trebuchet. But seems okay here. Run a D and turn on threat? Yeah, but it's an SDS, we don't steal it, right? I think we'll just draw the Boomerang. Oh no, actually, because it does the double draw, right? So we can run HQ for 1 credit, or we can draw. We're a damn knife deck, Andre. We'll draw. Boomerang or Carpe Diem? Honestly, we don't really need the Boomerang here. But we have Chesva. Bummer. HQ's free? No, it costs us 1, because we still have to boost 1. Unless we want to use the Curp here. Oh, she had the hostile, so she's back in it. Okay, I'm glad that we trashed the Tucana. I hope that we didn't miss that and she top decked it. That makes it feel better, right? Okay, HQ is the mark. So we can run HQ. I don't want to install the Boomerang on this because she might not res. Otherwise, then we have to install the Revolver. So I guess we'll install the Boomerang on it for safety. So we'll run HQ. We'll do Masterwork. We have 2 bad pubs, so this can get really cheap. So we're going to do 1 Chesva, 2 bad publicity. We'll do the Masterwork draw first. Bravado to Diesel. We need Diesel. Cat, I'm doing okay. How are you doing? Top of the stack, Diesel into Jeitinho. Okay, we're set up. This might shuffle though. So how do we deal with that? No. Is outfit real? I don't know. This is our first outfit game of the day. We made a kind of rough misplay, but we're holding on. So Audacity in hand and pivot. Okay. So the top of the deck is Diesel into Jeitinho. So we can Diesel first to get the second Jeitinho in our hand. That seems fine. We also have a Chesva, whatever. Let's just see what happens here. Nah, we don't need to. No further. Okay, that's fine. She might put another ice there. Oh, I hate points. Why points? You're just making Paladin angry. We've already installed the hardware, so we're just going to run archives. Install a hardware. No. So we can get 2 knives off in 2 turns. There's not much she can do about it. Paladin will install. We'll install a knife, and then next turn we'll just do the same thing again. If she installs another ice, we have to like install a breaker. We'll just install the Revolver and hope. But she still has to like score out while also defending centrals, and we're like 2 knives in, just about. We're also at 2 bad publicity, which is pretty good for where we are. So this is definitely Revolver run HQ. And then you just like bring out the knife at the last moment. Yeah, install first to get up to now 3 bad publicity. Yeah, we could see that coming. So she still has a pivot on Audacity in hand. So we just need to stop her from getting to 5 points. For obvious reasons. Hey, Chairman, what's the application? We're playing on a website called genteki.net. Genteki.net. It is the community-run online place to play Netrunner. It's pretty great. All right, so she drew first. All right, we don't really need a prognostic here. We don't know the top of the deck, but we're in no rush. R&D is the mark. I think we'll run R&D first because if the Boomerang gets shuffled back, we could get the Boomerang off the top. We want to shuffle before, well, this is not going to actually matter. Bad publicity, I think we're not going to install the Masterwork to greed because we're going to install the Jeitinho anyways, so we're not going to lose the Masterwork trigger. Top of the deck is Diversion, Poison Vial. Okay. Yeah, that might be wrong, actually. Maybe the order of this is more important. It's a magnet. Cool. Okay, so this will shuffle the deck. It's a Tucana. I think we're happy with her drawing a Tucana, so we're not going to trash that. Then we'll install a Revolver so we don't get goofed up by Trebuchet. We still have a chance of like top decking a way to break this if it is a code gate. But I just don't want to lose to Trebuchet. If it's a Fallon Chow, we still have issues. Install the hardware. I'm not going to. We can use the Cheswood credits during the run still, and we have a lot of bad publicity. We probably should just be hitting this button, I'll be honest. We have so much bad publicity. It is a Trebuchet. Fantastic. So we are going to pay 4. In theory, we actually don't have to break the last subroutine. Huh, interesting. Yeah, let's not break the last subroutine. So we have 3 bad publicity. We'll spend 1 on Cheswa. I won't break the last one. Yeah, I think we can win by knife. So let's like just be a bit silly about it. So the last subroutine says we can access cards. That's honestly totally fine. So no install here. So encounter. Yeah, we'll do the prog on the archives run, I think, just to use the bad publicity. If we don't use all the bad publicity on this run, which we might not. So we'll match the strength with bad publicity. There, we already did. And then we'll just break 1 Sentry Subroutine, the trash installed card. The trace can fire. How's it going, by the way? Again, we don't care about the accessing cards. We're just getting the 3rd knife in this turn, which comes in from hand, clicklessly while running archives. And then ideally the diesel. Hopefully we draw into another one soon. I don't know how she can score at 4 points before we can get the 3rd knife in. This is another good thing that we chased out the early border control. We have 2 border controls out so far, which means the knife will be a lot easier. We could go for the axis, but then there's a chance we hit snare, so it's like really not in our interest. Not that I expect this to be on snare. Like stealing a regulatory capture actually is pretty important. There's a chance that going for the axis is actually better. I just like, we probably should go for the axis, I'll be honest. We're being a bit too cute about it. Because if we steal regulatory capture, we're stopping her from having regulatory capture. And she can win in 2 turns with regulatory capture. There's a worry they hit reg capture hostile. Oh, we can still hit snare? Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, let's see what we access. We'll see if we're wrong. But yeah, you're right. Okay, we can still hit snare. Never mind. We're not being clever. If we hit a reg cap, we like totally made a mistake. I don't think this bullet is going to matter. We definitely should have broke all of Trebuchet. We just can't steal or trash. Okay, yeah, we touch cards. That's fine. We'd rather touch cards. Yeah, we trash the pivot probably too. Because you can pivot for the regulatory capture with Audacity. We definitely should be touching cards here. Okay, that's fine. No action. We would trash that to get cards out of hand for Audacity. Yeah, we made a mistake. It's fine. So here, what can we do? We don't know the top of the deck. So I think we just run archives, get the knife down, draw, and then we'll diesel. Alarm clock, prog. Okay, we'll do that. And then here during this run, we'll do this. If it finds a knife, we don't have to install it. It found a sec testing. Okay. So we made 3 successful runs, and then we'll just diesel last click, I think. No knife. Okay. 2 knives in, 1 knife somewhere in the next 16-ish cards. Sandstone got big again? That's fine. We have Kurapira. But yeah, that's the worst part about that, I guess. Yeah, we definitely should have trashed some stuff. Yeah, we'll just bypass it. It'll be fine. So she could think we have it in hand. The issue is that she can definitely win in 2 turns. She can get up to 5 points by doing pivot into regulatory, into recap, into Audacity, because you get the 2-2, install it, and then you just Audacity it. So if she can score out here, we're in a bad spot. Yeah, of course. So we probably could have trashed 1 or 2 more things. Running HQ is free. Running R&D will be free. We're going to hit the prognostic button on her turn. It's a 1 in 17, I think, to get a knife, which is not great odds. Even if it's a hardware, though, it'll draw a card. Get out. Hold on. I can prog for... That's really bad. We lose this turn. I can prog for Clot. Install the Simul chip. Draws a card. Class Act is probably more important. Yeah, in theory, you can pull a claw from the top deck. Okay, so we lose this turn if she has it in hand, because she can just Audacity out. So the knife seems to be one turn too slow. We know she has Audacity. No, we lose guaranteed unless we trash the pivot from hand, because she can pivot a red cap. So all we have to do is touch cards in hand. We just have to get into hand as much as possible. One can hope. If that's the case, we just run HQ and see what the top of the deck is. Yeah, we need to trash the pivot guaranteed. Otherwise, we're cooked. Simulchip doesn't do anything for us. We can like refresh the Chesva. It's fine. But we have to hit the pivot 100%. And or we could... Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run HQ. We're going to install the boomerang on the magnet. We're going to draw 2 cards and we'll look at the top 2. So we're able to look at 4 cards. If we get the knife, we can get the knife. So we start here. We'll do the masterwork first. We'll install the boomerang. We'll use bad publicity. We'll put the whatever. Okay, that's bad. So the knife has to be on the top for us to have a knife. Masterwork into diesel. Shit. Okay. That's bad. We can shuffle with the boomerang though. Like we're still not cooked. We can run R&D and we can shuffle the boomerang and have another shot at the top of the deck with prognostic. Like we still have a shot there. That's the only way that we can choose to shuffle. We'll break this. Diversion doesn't do anything. Steal the last red cap. Yeah, that'd be good. But then she can still Audacity Atlas or above the law. Like she still might have the 3-2 in hand or top deck it. We know with red cap she can grab with pivot she can grab the red cap, but we still might have issues. I guess we break the sandstone or bypass it. It's cheaper, right? When the runner encounters. Oh no, it's not even cheaper. Whatever. 2 Kana. So her hand is Mavirus, 2 Kana, Audacity, Pivot, and an unknown card. So we probably have to trash this just so we can afford to go back and see another card. Okay, thinking. Okay, so the top of the deck is Masterwork into Diesel. We can prognostic once for free. Well, for actual money. And then we draw the... No, because we've already Masterworked. We won't draw anything. So we can run R&D and shuffle. And then we can hit the prog button and see what happens. If this whiffs, we'd rather have a boomerang on top of the deck anyways to break the Trebuchet Sandstone. Like, Sandstone is annoying. Yeah, I think we run R&D here. And then we just run HQ 3 times. Oops. We definitely want to shuffle because we just need to shuffle the deck. That's not good. Okay, so no matter what, we run HQ. So we run HQ and we just do prognostic at the beginning of the run. It's going to get dicey. We'll do it at the end of the run. We'll just make sure we have enough money. We just got to see more cards. It'd be so cool to get the knife on the top of the deck. But we know she has the win in hand. Kurapir is 1 counter short. Do it before Sandstone? Why does it matter? In case it's boomerang. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'd rather boomerang the Sandstone. You're right. Poison Vial. Ah, that's unfortunate. She knows the game we're playing. So this is a problem. I think you could have drawn first. Sort of. Yeah, I'd rather run HQ twice. So here we're going to not install the Poison Vial. We're going to simulchip the Chesva because I don't think we have enough money to trash pivot. Yeah, we have to simulchip the Chesva here. Awkward. Yes! All right, that's good. Sick. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Feels good, feels good, feels good. All right. Well, we're financially destitute. We can run HQ again for free. So we know her hand is Mavirus, Audacity, one unknown card. At the top of the deck is a hedge fund. So I think we just set up this turn. So we draw because we have to draw. And now we don't know the top of the deck. I think installing security testing is a bit ridiculous. So we can click for a credit. What else can we do this turn? I think we just click for credit. Sec testing is like technically the same as clicking for credit, maybe better, but only if it lands the mark. Yeah, but only if we have to run. Sort of. We'll keep a hardware in hand. It depends where the sec testing is though, right? Like if sec testing is on R&D, it's not as good as clicking for credit if our hand doesn't support it. Don't you Audacity this, Harp. Harp works over. No, Harp, no. What the fuck? Huh? Huh? What is it? What is this? What's happening? Sable. Paladin. Alright, guys. This has to be an NGO front. There's nothing else it can be. I guess she's just installing an NGO front. We know her hand is Audacity Mavirus Hedge Fund. So we just don't know what this is. The thing is, I don't think I care what this is. There's no way that's the agenda. You think she just put the agenda on the table? That'd be ridiculous. But that's why it works. All right, let's run. We'll start with the Masterwork because this is a free card draw. Still not there. Just one more blade. Look at the top two cards of the stack. Carpe Diem Sec Testing. This is so frustrating. You're just drawing to just don't want to touch cards. This is what it comes down to. That was a bad use of a turn. Yeah, she probably just had to draw more. I think we just run this, right? If it's a trebuchet, we break it for free. I think we just need to check this as an NGO front. There's no way it's not. Maybe it's a reversed accounts. I can't tell. The other option is we can like doof. We have no reason running HQ. We can run the top of R&D. We probably should run the top of R&D so she doesn't win. So let's run the remote server, install Cat's Cradle, run R&D. Yeah. I'm not going to install Cat's Cradle first and run server 4. Oh yeah, I am. It's free. What's on top of the deck? Carpe Diem Sec Testing. Ugh. I guess we install the class act this turn somehow. It's a Valenchow. Okay. I think that might be a problem. Shit, it's a problem. No, it's not a problem. We can't deal with an NGO front, but can't lose money. You don't got money, baby. What? No way. Oh, that was, I thought, sorry. I thought it was game. I just trashed the first breaker I had. Okay, we good? I think we're good. All right, so we can see the top of R&D. We know our hand. I totally thought that we won the game. That doesn't win the game. So the top of the deck is still a Carpe Diem, which we would love to be able to draw. We're going to have to get a revolver down sooner than later. So we can run R&D for single, I guess. We should probably trash a Chesva. I don't know. They're doing a lot of work. Like running our HQ is actually relatively expensive. I know we have bad publicity. Oh, in fact, we have 5 bad publicity. So probably, but I don't know if we're going to have to empty the next revolver. You're probably right though. I just think we actually do use these Chesva credits, but we have 5 bad publicity. That's a ridiculous sentence. It was Carpe Diem into, oh man, it's getting late, huh? Sec testing. I just want to shuffle. Huh. That's interesting. think we just trash that and go back. So we can trash this for free. We can let her draw this. This is not a good draw. God. Oh, cool. Trashed. All right, so she wants to fire that because she wants to draw something else. So now we have to go back on R&D. I just lost a match to Super Deep Borehole, ended the game with 10,000 bad pub and no way to use it. Lose 2 credits? It used bad pub? Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, never mind. I'll fix this after. Thank you. Yeah, you're totally right. It's hard to fix. We should be on 0 credits after this. Yeah, we'll fix it right after. Trojan horse? Fuck. How can there not be as an upsetting as a card as Trojan horse? Sorry, you touched a card. You're gonna lose an icebreaker. Sorry, you played Netrunner. I can't understand Trojan horse. So she's not Trojan horsing us immediately. She should. Trashing the crew up here is pretty important. Sock Monkey, you're playing Pinhole? Where'd your breakers go? God, Trojan horse tilts me. I don't get it. Why would there be a card like that? Sorry, you touched a card? I'm going to trash one of yours? Wasn't on that deck. Breakers were on the bottom. Ah, yeah, okay. Well, if it was an agenda, you would have lost faster. So they can just put agendas in there. So it doesn't actually change much. The way I feel about Trojan Horse is the way I feel about playing against P and Thule decks that have 0 intention of scoring. Goddamn, a lot of those decks do actually have intentions of scoring. I agree. The PE decks that don't have intentions of scoring are pretty annoying. Oh, this is fine. So we know her hand is Hedge Fund, Audacity, and Mavirus, so we don't have to run. Unless she top decks it. I know it's not a perfect comparison, but anytime I feel like I lost because I stole, it feels bad. That's why you gotta play Jeitinho. No, I hear you. I just don't think you should punish people for touching cards. Like that. You can doof. Can I doof her? Yeah. We can do Revolver Doof. She goes on to 0. That actually does slow her down. Yeah, we probably will. I don't know, actually, if we do. We probably do. The thing is, like, we need a draw. We need to get through our deck. Make a run on HQ? No. Right? Because we know the top of the deck is still Carpe Diem into something else. We'll take the Carpe Diem. Don't forget on Trojan Horse, though, and Distributed Tracing. Distributed Tracing is inherently a bit messed up as an HB card. That doesn't sit with me well. Okay, so we install the Revolver for free. We can doof. That will drop her to 5 credits, to 0 credits. From that point, we should probably draw first. We'll get the click back, which is really good. We know her whole hand, so we don't have to access, but we need to find boomerangs because it's the only way that we can deal with magnets. Right now, if they even have 1 credit, they can Audacity. Yeah, if she top decks an agenda with Audacity on 1 credit, she can score out. We'll definitely draw first. Okay, we have no hardware in hand. We'd rather have the Carpe Diem. So we'll do Revolver Doof. Oh, no, we actually can't. Oh, no, I did it wrong. We can't draw because we have to play the damn doof. Oh, piss. It's fine. It's unlikely we lose from this, but it's really not good. We're just going to assume that she doesn't top deck it. Oh, that's really bad. Yeah. We should have just not drawn first. Let's find... Yeah, if our marker was on archives, we could have got out of this, but we can't. Let's find a hardware. Sick. Okay, wait. So with this hardware, we could sec testing and then, yeah, to get Carpe Diem, that might be right, but it's too late now. Here we can still like install Boomerang on the magnet, which we have to do anyways, but then we can't break this. Assuming it's a Valenchow, we can just beat it by having credits. I think it's acceptable. So I think we just run archives here. We do Masterwork, install a Boomerang with our bad publicity. Put the Boomerang on the magnet because we can't break magnet. The top 2 of the stack is Prognostic Poison Vial. Oh, actually, it might be right to Boomerang the innermost in case it's 2 magnets, because then we have a problem because we can't do Boomerang into Boomerang. Yeah, this might be wrong. Prognostic into Poison Vial. So we can do that off the top rope. Prognostic into Poison Vial. Okay. So then we'll Prognostic with bad publicity. Install Prognostic, trashing this Prognostic. So we have a Poison Vial on top. We'll breach the server gain 2. So unfortunately, we're a credit short of Prognostic right now. Oh man, we're making a pig's ear out of this. She can top deck a red cap. She can top. Okay, we're fine. So she has 2 unknowns in hand. GG. Oh, that's so painful. Yeah, we knew the top deck. What was the turn? Oh, off the draw. Yeah. Last turn, I was supposed to doof you, but then drew first and forgot I was credit short for the doof. Oh, that genuinely feels bad. Yeah, we tossed that a bit. Yeah, it was the second drawn card because she drew once. So she mandatory drew, and so it was the drawn card. Otherwise, she wouldn't have drawn. Doof wouldn't have stopped it, to be fair. Oh, yeah, right. It wouldn't. Because she can still 3-2. Yeah, wait. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because she scores this out for 0 credits. Yeah, we just need to touch cards. We saw a lot of cards without finding the last knife. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can't find the last knife. I don't know. I'm not playing this perfectly. I think I'm definitely losing a whole bunch of clicks in places we shouldn't be. But even with like all this bad publicity, I can't figure out how to get the knives in. This wasn't a fast game. This was like turn 12. That is fast. We're just like thinking through it a bit slower. I can do maybe one more. Thanks for the game. That's rough. I feel like we could have done something better there. Yeah, I need to look at the replay. Huh, okay. Keep going. I'll do one more. I don't want to end like that. Asukyun, how's it going? Yeah, what could we have done differently? I wonder if we should have just, given up and got down the class act. That was an option and just like risk 1 turn off. Oh, PD, that's fun. Our, what's it called, are really good into the matchup. Our Poison Vials, potentially, if they're playing Brawn and stuff. Hey, best of luck, have fun. So I'm assuming they're not on Luminol, and this hand is like really good setup hand. Ideally, we Dirty Laundry our mark. That actually has a huge implication on whether this hand is playable. And then we have Paladin and Mystic for setup, and we have the Class Act. We obviously have Envy testing for setup as well, but like, if we can get the Dirty Laundry off clicklessly, this is like the most busted setup hand. Is literally every single setup card we have and card draw. I feel like you're forced to shuffle too much with Boom. If you don't have a shuffle, you actually work towards the knife, but every time you shuffle, you could reburn it. Yeah, I've noticed the frustration there. It's like, oh, this is Shoot the Moon. This is gonna be much faster. Is that like every time I shuffle, the Class Act numbers like get messed up. And so then like we end up drawing back into the cards that we drew into. I don't know. Maybe we should have just given up on boomerangs and got our breakers down. Because you're right. Like I can totally feel the Class Act getting messed up. The difficulty with a non-chest knife list, you have to draw all 3 copies, meaning the guarantee you have to draw your whole deck. Yeah, I've been feeling it. Archives is the mark. Okay. Not the best, but not the worst. So this is probably a Spin Doctor. I don't really want to run a Harp. Good game. I only got a bit tilted to Trojan Horse. I don't get that card. Hardly size. Yeah, the boomerang play we messed up in the early game. That was kind of impactful. Yeah, this has to be a Spin Doctor. I don't know our opponent. We can afford to check it if it's a Rashida, but I'm pretty sure it's a Spin Doctor. We won't trash it. This is just because I don't know my opponent. If I knew my opponent, I wouldn't make this run. Oh, Trank. Okay. What if you Class Act draw into 2 copies of the knife? That's fine. You bottom one of them and then boomerang shuffle, but we were looking for our last knife there. I'm not going to deal with this, and I think I'm going to set up instead. I'm going to install 1, 2, 3. If we install this, we can't do our turn. Like, this is a very important card for the matchup, but like, unfortunately, without Miss Bones, I don't know if we can afford to deal with that card. Poison Vial is probably the least important card in our hand. No Masterwork is not great, because Masterwork is the only way the environmental testing makes sense. It's also why that we're playing Companions and we're not playing Twinning. Like, these cards are still just great. 1+ credit a turn. But we'll see how quickly our opponent pops off. Drawing before they're installing, so their hand might be a bit clumsy. Maybe they're setting up for a YDL, but just greasing on top of this? Oh, just ice, okay. Makes sense. R&D is the mark, okay. I don't think we have much to do here. I think we continue to set up. Nice. Diversion's like not the most impactful. It's pretty good because it's diversion, but it's not incredibly great against your digital life deck. I do think actually the second boomerang might be it. So we can install the masterwork for a credit drawing a card, install the security testing and just click for a credit. And then next turn we can do probably Chesva boomerang. Maybe sec testing does something good here. This draws a card. We could have actually just done Boomer Doof there, couldn't we? Yeah, we could have done Boomer Doof. Oh, maybe that was better. Especially because we're installing cards before environmental testing. Yeah, maybe Boomer Doof was fine. Because now I have to discard something and I don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah, that might not have been the play. Ooh, I don't know what to discard here. Like, Chesvas are really important because the deck does do that. Environmental testing feels like the worst card in the hand. Ooh, that's painful. That might be totally wrong. So I want the diesel because we need to find knives. Yeah, there's the yodel. There's the trank. And just put something on top of it. So assuming it's a spin doctor, let's see if we can get an interesting mark here. So we'll do Sable. It's HQ. That's good. Mystic, Paladin, Sec testing goes on archives. So here, if we install the Chesva, we can do diversion. And we can afford it, right? I think we're credit perfect. Yeah. Kurapira will break, not Bronwell. I think we just need the money. I'm not sure if we're going to install our Kurapira anytime soon. Gatekeeper, fantastic. They res that, which is great because now we can break it easily with our other thing, our actual breaker when we draw it. We'll go for the doof. We'll shuffle. We get a click back. We can definitely dirty laundry server 1 and see what happens. It's really bad if it's a mana garm. That's the only thing that's bad. We can diesel first. I think I'm just going to dirty laundry server 1. If it's a mana garm, it's really bad though. I'll take the risk. Just laundry archives. Oh yeah, laundry archives is really good, but this might be Rashida. Yeah, that's fine. So we run archives, we gain 2. I'd rather just draw with diesel. Okay, we can just do the same play next turn. Cool. So 1 Yodel out, 1 Rashida out. The Tranquility should go, let's be honest. Okay, now they're going to push in there. So now we have to decide whether we want to boomerang to contest the remote server. And I actually probably boomerang contest the remote server. If we do boomerang diversion, they're on 3 credits. And then if we run the remote server, they can only res a gatekeeper or a drafter. That might be fine. Mark is R&D though. I think we'll do the diversion and just run server 1. We'll just try and make them lose their money. One, 2, 3. That feels good. Masterwork. Bravado Prog. We'll take the Prog because we have 2 Chesvas and archives is good. This is a frustrating lock, but there's only 3 diversions. Not a lot of recursion. So it's likely they can res this. We'll face check. If it's a drafter, I don't think it's that bad. Actually, it's pretty bad. If it's a gatekeeper, it's bad too because they get Yodel back. I think if they res though, they probably can't score out this turn. I'll take it. Install a piece of hardware. Yeah, we can afford to. Drafter, fine. Yeah, now we can run R&D. So they brought back Yodel. Okay, so we probably have to trash their Tranquility here. So they actually have to do credit Yodel. Let's see if they put a Rashida on the table and keeps us busy. We'll still draft Dirty Laundry R&D. So Rashida on the table. Okay, so we have some work to do. We have to trash all of this. Off-world, okay, great. We get credits. Trank, we have to trash now because otherwise they can't rebound. Well, Dirty Laundry R&D, they can't res. And then we deal with the Rashida. So overall, fine for us. Because, oh shit, okay. All right. Okay, we're gaming. Okay, seemed good. I don't know what kind of version this on is. This is just the Man in the Moon version. Otherwise, it could be on Triple Iqua. But now they just have to do that, which is totally fine because they're not building board state. I do not think we're knifing this game. They have to discard a couple cards here. Or one card, sorry, PD. Yeah, that was a turn for sure. We took some risks, but it was fine. Okay, so Archives run is good. We definitely want to draw a bit to get a hardware. Referring to YDL's Yodel is sending me. I think a lot of people do that. I don't think that's just me. Okay, so I'm actually going to get the Masterwork because Class Act is pretty good, but we don't install the Class Act here. I think we just take the Class Act and keep drawing because we need to get something for Paladin. We just want a hardware. That's just good enough. We'll run Archives here. So we'll do Masterwork, install the Poison Vial. We'll use the Paladin and the Chesva. We can look at the top two of the stack. So we could have used the Chesva on that. Yeah. So Masterwork Jeitinho. Okay. So I think we're just going to install the Class Act last. Oh, we're going to click back. Masterwork's on the top. That's fine. Is this the knife deck? The answer to my question. Daria, how's it going? Congratulations on the deck list of the week. It is. This is the knife assassin, not Yeti's deck. Really fun. He joined on the stream, mind you, like a couple months ago playing an earlier version of this. So we'll draw right now. So now we know on the top of the deck. So drawing was actually kind of useless. Whatever. We should install the Chesva and install the Classic. We shouldn't have drawn necessarily. Okay, so we have our Kurapira. We don't have our Cat's Cradle yet. They have a remote server push here, but we have a Revolver. Falling for the EA Sports propaganda. Okay. Sable gets an HQ mark. Mystic, Paladin, Sec testing on Archives. So we can run this. We can do Revolver, Bravado, no problem. Install, play for free, play for free. We have 6 credits waiting this turn. Companions are messed up. Then we can do Jeitinho while running Archives. If that's the case, we should start with Jeitinho running Archives. We have no reason to put down the Chesva. Yeah, we'll just run Archives first. We'll do Masterwork, install the Jeitinho for free with the Chesva. We get the Boomerang or the Alarm Clock. I think the Boomerang is a bit more flexible here. Top 2 cards of the stack is Boomerang and Simulchip. Okay. So we install the Revolver for free. We Bravado the remote server for free. We go server 1. They pushed behind a single ice before, so they might just try and do the same thing again. I don't think we have to greed here. It is the Drafter, of course. We'll break all of it. We could use a Poison Vial there, but I don't think the Revolver tokens are going to matter. It's a Trank Grid. We can afford to trash the Trank Grid here, and I think we do, just to slow them down. We have a click left. We could run HQ, run R&D, but we don't have breakers. Actually, we do. Wait, we could get a first knife off this turn. I don't think it's that important. We'll get the second Chesva down. So we know there's a Boomerang on top of the deck into a Simulchip, which means we'll get a knife off this turn guaranteed. They're probably pushing an agenda here. That's fine. Okay, I don't think we go for knife when we're on 4 points. This is the frustrating thing. I haven't found board states where I want to go for knife, but maybe JNet Casual is just not playing this sort of decks. Maybe I feel like I'm doing the middle and I need to commit to one side better. Because we're way better at just contesting the remote server. Free Vibrato is disgusting. I know. We trust a 4-coster and we're still like up value. So here we get Sable and Archives. Sick. Sec testing on Archives. So now we run Archives, install the Boomerang on this, and then we just run server 1. That'll draw us either Boomerang or Simulchip. We're happy with that. We could draw once for free here. We're not going to knife. We'll take the Boomerang. So we run Archives. We use Masterwork to install the Boomerang on we'll use the Chesvas because we won't run Centrals again. We'll install the Masterwork. Here we draw Chesva. Top 2 cards of stack is Bravado Class Act. Okay. You're very worried about getting knifed. Yeah, we were getting there, but then we also got to game point. The thing is, like, to stop you from winning, maybe we could have gone for the knife more, but we also just had to like touch cards. You could install Boomerang from Prague on their turn. Yeah, but I'm not too like I don't think we need to. So we can draw for the bravado. Like, I'm not convinced we needed to. Especially when we have all this recurring credits. Okay, this is an MIC, so we have a click left, but the best thing about these sort of interactions is you boomerang them, and then you poison vial the last. Like, against HB and against Ag Infusion, the poison vial goes really far. Against Sports Metal, not really. Against Outfit, not really. And well, in theory, actually, we could have. If we had a poison vial, we can deal with Valenchow a bit better. That's kind of neat, but it's like kind of niche. This is a Rashida and Agenda. Yeah, Midnight 3, okay. We are just keeping the gas down. They resolved it before we used Vial. Oh, shit, they did. Ah, whatever. We're up 6-0. We don't have to do that. Yeah, they clicked the click loss button, so that's why we didn't have an extra click there. It was confusing. Yeah, it's too late. R&D. Sec testing archives. This is another agenda, and we can just run it. We can just run it, and we will. They just keep coming back. We used one too many credits. It's fine. We should have just used these. Cat's Cradle Doof. Okay. So then we'll prognostic. This is messed up. Wouldn't they just, like, archives is open. This is just kind of messed up. Yeah, they resolved the click sub. Yeah, I didn't know at the time, but at this point it's fine. Icing up archives will just like spread them a bit thin. Some a virus? GG. Okay. Good game. Yeah, it's really hard into boomerang. Like, you really need to double ice it. Thanks for the game. Sooner than later. And then like the diversions lined up really well, but I can't imagine a better opening hand than 2 companions and class act. We did pitch the environmental testing and we're fine because we drew like 2 bravados and we got these down, but like that was such an absurd start. Just a really absurd start. Yeah, the open central, we didn't run the archives mark too much, but like that's the issue with this deck is like you get so much value off of these. So much value. But like these companions, like this is the thing with companions, right? Like how much money did Paladin Puemo Mystic give us? You want to check? You want to check? Give us 1 second. 8, I think. It did technically force us to plan our turns around, but it is like just kind of buck wild. How much money if you get these down in turn 1? Ooh, they're on a Rella. They're on a cool version of this. Let's look at the runner view, right? Like best opening hand. Okay. So obviously the companions even felt better because we did steal a lot of agendas. So we spent 1 credit on the companion so far. They give us a 1, 2. This would be easier with the scan bar. 3. Then we stole 2 agendas this turn. 4, 5, 6. It's more than 8. 7. It's more than 8. Eight. 9. 10. They were both a click for 10 credits. We didn't use all the credits, but they're both a click for 10. Technically 9 because we installed them. I don't know what to deal with that. And for what it's worth, like the Cheswas are the same thing. The Cheswas were like probably each a click for like 10, 12 credits. Our deck is built around using the Cheswas as consistently as possible, which like it's not easy that you can use Cheswas running archives with like no ice on it. You need to be playing something like Masterwork or Prognostic, but like each of these cards are just an absurd value proposition. Isn't the number of turns plus 3 agendas? Yeah. In very simple terms, yes. Technically, we got one more, but the game is over. Just wild. It's just super, super wild. And this is why these show up everywhere. Like, it can't be a surprise. And when you compare these to things like prepaid voice pad that also give you a credit value of a turn, the difference with these is they get credits faster because if you win more. And then also on the turn that you don't use them, you don't lose the value. On a turn that you don't use as or you don't use prepaid voice pad credit, you lose the prepaid voice pad. Yeah. It's sometimes a hard thing to reckon with, but like, install a card on turn. Like when your opponent installs 2 companions on turn 1, I think you should tilt. You probably should tilt. That's wild. Like that was not a long game. That was like a 10-turn game. Not even. That was like a 9-turn game. Anywho, yeah, I think we gotta close the stream now. It's like getting to midnight. I want to give a huge thank you to all these names here and more. I actually recently just redid this where I went through and updated some of the colors next to names, which is largely designating how long folks have been supporting the channel. And a lot of the names have been supporting the channel for, well, firstly, a very long time. And I'm just incredibly thankful. Thank you so much for all these names here and more. Again, there's also a whole bunch of daily cast patrons that help support the Métropole Grid. I'm in a weird spot right now where I'm trying to figure out what exactly to do with the channel. I think maybe we should be streaming more. I don't know if that's the solution. I'm at this point where like, I got to try to figure out how to get this channel to work out even like, you know what I mean? Like I got to figure out how to make things to work out if I can commit more time to the channel. I'm at this weird spot where I have to really figure it out. So we might try streaming more, probably during the day, which is like the nice time a lot of folks can like jump in. So I need to figure that out. I'm going to do some video stuff on a table behind me. I brought in like a spare table from my sister and I can put out hopefully some sort of camera on top of it and record some in-person stuff. I'm going to be trying some stuff for the channel because I think we got to shake stuff up to some extent. But all these names here and also the daily cast patrons help the channel to be the way it is, that we can put the time into the channel and do all the sort of stuff that we do. I want to shout out, we got a new patron, I think just yesterday, if not today. Shout out to Neither 0001 for supporting the channel. Thank you so much as a daily cast patron. Thank you. MJC stream Arkham. Yeah, maybe. I think that would be a different channel though, if anything, which is like not exactly going to help all the folks who are supporting this channel, if you know what I mean. But maybe on TTS. I don't know, on paper. Do people enjoy Arkham in paper streams? Like I've never watched one where people play on the table. I've only seen like Arkham streams and stuff like that. Cat says, okay, put like, I did a stream setup once. We didn't stream it live with Jeff with like multicam and everything doing on TTS. And it's like, it was a lot of work and it was hard to make everything look as good as I wanted it to. And you have to like get into the flow because you technically should have a third person who's like moving the cameras and doing everything. Half the people who watch the stream also watch Arkham. Neon Static did one in paper, would also watch. Yeah, I think once Eric played a solo thing in paper. Since they're still asking you for it. Yeah. No, I think I for sure should. I don't know if we'll do Arkham in paper, probably online. I think it's a bit easier. But I'll look into it. Any sort of suggestions are super appreciated, that's for sure. With that note, thanks so much for hanging out. It's like the CBI, I think in 2 weeks. So I think a lot of people are out there testing. If you got some locals, go out there and get some games in. Again, we had 12 people on Tuesday, which is really quite nice. And then on that note, we have our ONR draft cube on Saturday. I'm super excited for that. So I'll let you know how that is. It's in 1 week. It's Jover. It's in 1 week. Oh yeah, it's in 1 week. It's not this weekend, it's next weekend. Okay. Sick. So tune in for that. That should be soon. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. We'll be back on Tuesday. Take care.